Welcome into the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as the NFHS Network is proud to present the All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. It's the Class 4A state championship game as top-seeded and defending champion Neville faces a familiar opponent for the title. That's the Karr Cougars, led by their outstanding quarterback, Edna Karr. It's the third time these two teams have met for a state title in the last 5 years. Hello, I'm Jeff Palermo along with Jimmy Frederick. Thanks for watching. This one should be a fantastic game. For the Karr Cougars, they come into the state title game after dropping their first 3 games of the season, but they're playing their best football, and a lot of it is revolving around their star quarterback and their playmakers as well as far as the wide receivers go.
Absolutely. Edna Karr is an absolutely superstar quarterback. He is 6'1", he's a 185-pound junior. He's thrown for 3,400 yards this season. He's a gunslinger. Look for him to throw it all over the field. It's all up to him. His rhythm, once he gets into it, he's hard to deal with.
And then for the Neville Tigers, they have a couple of 1,000-yard rushers on offense, but it's their defense that a lot of people talk about. And one of the best defensive linemen in the country, Rashard Lawrence.
Well, it all starts with him, and how he is going to be effective today is he's going to have to blow up the offensive line, get to the quarterback, put pressure on Edna Karr, and when Rashard Lawrence is there, he is so hard to deal with, 300 pounds, and you know, it's hard to believe, but quick as a cat.
Certainly is. Let's take a look at our Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana keys to the game. First of all, for the Karr Cougars and their first-year head coach by the name of Bryce Brown.
Well, it all comes down to Edna Karr. We've already talked about it. He's got to bring his A game. If he can hit his receivers in stride, make the quick throws, and get the ball out of his hand fast, he's going to be very effective. And, of course, they have to win the battle of the turnovers. Once you put the ball on the ground, it's going to be very difficult to deal with. Neville has 35 takeaways in this season. For Neville, they have to minimize the big play. They have to shut down Edna Karr, and they have to play great defense on the outside. They expect to get a lot of pressure up front, but it's going to be their cornerbacks and safeties that have to play big. And, of course, they have to control the clock. Keep Edna off the field, keep their offense off the field, and keep Neville's offense on the field, and that's how things are going to make progress for the Neville Tigers to see if they can't defend their state championship.
Well, for Neville to do that, Jaden Cole and Donald Jenkins will have to have a big game for the Tigers offensively. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff of the Class 4A state championship game on the NFHS Network. The Neville Tigers looking for their second consecutive state championship, and there are the Karr Cougars. They are ready for this one after losing to Neville in the quarterfinals last year. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Jessica.
Well, Jeff, this Neville team will be taking the field without multiple players after they have been dismissed from the program for violating team rules. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Tiger team takes the field, dealing with adversity and a change of pace that came so quickly. Jeff, back up to you.
You're right about that, Jessica. Jessica Province will be delivering reports to us throughout the game. So Neville, here's a team, Jimmy, that's won 25 in a row. They have really played so well throughout this run after winning the state championship last year. In the playoffs, they beat Beauchene 57-0. They beat Karen Crow 38-12 in the second round, beat North DeSoto in the quarterfinals 42-14, then beat Warren Easton in a rematch of last year's 4A championship in the semifinals, but a little adversity having several players dismissed from the team on the eve of the 4A state championship game.
Unfortunate, of course, but it's something that's going to have to deal with, and we're ready to go.
It's time for the J.C. Fodale Energy Services kickoff. The Neville Tigers in the home black jerseys. They will kick it off to Edna Karr, and we are underway in the Class 4A state championship game as we have a touchback. We'll see the Karr Cougars offense first, led by Edna Karr, the junior quarterback, who has put up some phenomenal numbers. We told you about it. In the pregame, 3,400 yards passing, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's one of his outstanding wide receivers, Tyron Ralph, a senior who had 3 touchdowns in the quarterfinals as the Karr Cougars defeated Bastrop in the quarters 48-36. They spread you out, does Karr. 5 wide receivers on this first offensive set of the game, but they run the jet sweep and not much room to run, though. as he has brought down the ball carrier, Kenneth Simmons, a loss of 3. And you get an idea of how quick that Neville defense is. Herschel Carter in on the stop. There's a look at the Edna Karr starters, brought to you by the All-State Sugar Bowl. Clark, Ralph, Woolridge, McMath, Jefferson, Marshall, Johns, Joe, Bernard, Lalone on the offensive line, and Titus Jones, a sophomore. Second down and 13. Clark will throw it this time, and he's got his man for a big play. Into Neville territory and still going all the way down to the 37-yard line. As DeMonte Woolridge, who had 4 catches last week, he's got 47 for the season and nearly 1,000 yards receiving, makes the first big play offensively of the game.
Well, there you see the quick release. He steps up, throws it, fakes perfectly, and splits the defenders. And when you get behind the defenders like that with the speed that these guys have, it's going to mean a lot of trouble for the Neville Tigers.
Neville defensively allowing 12 points a game. They have had 5 shutouts this year. They went through a point in this season where they went 198 minutes without giving up a point. Clark with some pressure, heaves it downfield, and a nice adjustment on the ball, and a great catch again by Woolridge. 2 big plays for the Karr Cougars.
My goodness, look, he sets up throws right away. He knew the pressure was coming on the backside. What a great catch by Woolridge. But you've got to look for the mismatch over there by the linebacker, number 40. He's not going to be able to cover the speedy wide receivers like that.
Let's take a look at the Coke red zone. Coke Zero red zone. The Karr Cougars have entered here. First and goal at the 10-yard line. Trips to the far side. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Neville brings some extra pressure. Clark gets rid of it. His wide receiver gets shoved down, and a bunch of flags fly after that as Herschel Carter is guilty of the pass interference.
Interesting, though, because the receiver slipped down a little bit, and that's why they got tangled up. I'm not sure that if he hadn't slipped down, there would have been the contact. Nonetheless, the flags fly, and it's going to be half the distance if it stands.
Our referee.
Pass interference, number 30 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
Tim Boston, by the way, is our white hat from the Hammond Association. Watch again here. Plenty of time to throw the football. He's got a long throw, and oh, there's the push. Excuse me, he didn't trip, he was pushed.
First and goal at the 5-yard line as Clark checks in with his coaching staff. Both bands going at it right now as the Karr Cougars driving on this first drive of the Class 4A state championship. Clark gets rid of it again. Another fade route into the end zone, incomplete, as he was trying to get the football to Darnell Bridges. There's a look at Neville's starters, brought to you by the All-State Sugar Bowl. Antarius Gooden, Anthony Robinson, Rashad Lawrence, Anthony Freeman, Robert Williams, Jamal Nelson, Luke Cagle, Herschel Carter, Corey Strouder, Jacorian Andrews, and then Jake Kelly, who has 35 tackles on the season, an outstanding senior in that defensive secondary. Second and goal. Karr moving some players around. Ralph now in the backfield. Clark pitches it to Ralph. Ralph puts his head down, and he gets to about the 2-yard line. Big hit there. Bringing up now third and goal for the Karr Cougars.
Good job that time to read the defensive end, and then great tackle by number 11, who steps up and makes the play very rapidly. That's Kendrick Marbles.
So it's now third and goal at the 2. Ralph back in the backfield with Clark. Clark looks to his right. Nice pass over to Ralph, and he walks into the end zone. Touchdown Cougars. Tyron Ralph, his 6th touchdown catch of the season.
Watch this, perfectly executed. The defensive end had no way to deal with the back coming out of the backfield. Perfectly thrown football by Alden Clark, and you can see why Clark, just a junior, has thrown for 3,500 yards just about coming into this football game, and they score very quickly. Just 2 running plays on that 7-play drive.
Extra point try is good. Chili Duronsole on the extra point, and a really good drive there for the Karr Cougars.
Watch it here on the replay. You're going to see a different look this time. and you get a good idea of how he spreads the field. There's nobody around him. Well done again by the offensive line. They have been very effective this entire season of protecting Alden Clark. They're not very big. They've got the left side that's pretty big, and Chance, Joe, and Albert Berniard, and then they go kind of smaller on the right side.
Well, Karr, the big question was, will they be able to score on this really stout Neville defense? And on that first drive, boy, did they look good. So now it's going to be up to the Neville Tigers to respond. Neville has not trailed much at all this season. In fact, the first time they trailed all year was in the second round playoff matchup against Carencro. They fell behind 12-0 in that game, but rallied to beat the Golden Bears 38-12. Meanwhile, the Karr Cougars, they have been in a habit of falling behind in their games. They were trailing Bastrop in the quarterfinals 22-0. In the semifinals, they were down 14-0 to Franklinton before winning 34-21. End-over-end kick taken at the 13 for the Neville Tigers. And the returner gets it up to the 26-yard line. Nice job by the coverage unit. On the return was Corey Straughter, who averages 22 yards a return. But that time, about a 18-yard return to the 27. So we'll get a look at the Neville offense here. Averaging 46 points a game. They are a run-first team. Jaden Cole is the quarterback, but we'll also see another quarterback come in from time to time, and that's Christopher Haynes. Donald Jenkins is their big back. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards. Jaden Cole, he's rushed for 1,300 yards, the quarterback for Neville. And they line up in shotgun formation. See, Cole's a big kid, and we have some movement on the line of scrimmage.
Defending state champs, 25-game winning streak, should not be jumping off sides. A little bit nervous here, early going, as this is their first drive.
Dead ball. Ball start. On the offense, 76. Repeat first down.
2 penalties now for Neville.
You have to wonder if Neville's a little bit rattled right now. As Jessica Providence told us at the top of the broadcast, several players dismissed from the team for violating team rules. And here's a handoff. And a run by Josh Diarse. He's the younger brother of John Diarse, who plays for the LSU Tigers. He's rushed for over 200 yards this season. Very quick. They like to get him the ball as much as possible. He picked up 5 on the first play from scrimmage. There's a look at the starters for Neville. Jared Hughes, Von Buren, Lawrence Phillips, and Joctavius Phillips on that offensive line. Jenkins, the running back. Your wide receivers are Diarse, Geis, and Newton. And then the tight end is William Wooten, who's a senior, 5'10", second down and 10. And here's more of Diarse, and Diarse is stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Hard to run against that defensive line of Andre Anthony and Aaron Kent. It's going to be important for them to open up some holes in the middle, and they've got to spread the field a little bit more. You see how tight they get on this very heavy run offense that they do run.
Third down and 10. There's a look at the starters for Edna Karr, Harris, Ricocco in the secondary, Johnson, Anthony Bridges as well. Third and 10 here for Neville. Rolling out to the near side and throwing is Cole, and it's incomplete. A 3-and-out for Neville as Carr's defense, which is allowing 25 points a game, forces a 3-and-out. Their goal in this game, as we mentioned, Jimmy, is stop the run. They had Neville there in a predictable passing situation, and that's exactly where you want the Tigers.
Without question, and again, the pass is overthrown. Had the time to throw it. You've got to get Jalen Cole rolling out. I like the way they did that, but he's got to get into a rhythm and throw some quick passes and get things going quickly here.
John Mitchell McDuffie is the punter for Neville. He's averaging 34 yards a punt. He's done a very solid job for the Neville Tigers this season. He punts it from his 15. This is a short and high punt, and it takes a Karr bounce, and it's going to be great field position for the Cougars on their second offensive drive of the evening, as they'll have it at the Neville 45. So now the Tigers defense, let's see what kind of adjustments defensive coordinator Benji Lewis has made here for Neville.
Well, they've got to get pressure on Alden Clark, number one, but more importantly, they've got to cover their receivers a little bit better. They have had some pretty good coverage, but Alden Clark able to find the open one. So you've got to make sure that your coverages are solid and tight. Otherwise, Clark will pick you apart as he did on that first drive.
Neville showing blitz. The man in motion is Woolridge. Already made a couple of nice plays, and he gets the ball here. Spins away from one defender, and then a pack of Tigers bring him down at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 5 for the senior wideout, who's 5'7". Nice job here by Neville to go after the football.
Well, they did a good job of getting the tackler after he made the catch, but they're doing a fine job of hiding those receivers, and Woolridge does a fine job of just finding the flats, skittering out there. Nobody picks him up, and they're going to be able to hit that pass every single time if they don't do something to guard the receivers coming out of the backfield.
2nd and 5, and there's a fumble, but picking it up is the running back. Almost a disastrous play there for Karr, but jumping on the football was Tyron Ralph.
Watch it here, easy handoff, and he just misses it. He put right in the breadbasket, may have held on to it for a second too long. He is very lucky that his offensive line had cleared a path for him because there was no black jerseys very close that could have picked up that football. Picks up positive yards on the fumble.
3rd down and 4. Ralph in the backfield with Karr. And Clark will throw, and the ball is batted down and then caught by, it was incomplete. Incomplete, so 4th down. Decision time for first-year head coach Bryce Brown, who was the offensive coordinator for Karr.
Anthony Robertson's going to knock this one down. Nope, actually it's going to be number 24, Robert Williams, who is the outside linebacker coming in on a blitz, a delayed blitz, knocks the ball down. You're taught when the ball is about to be thrown, getting the passing lane, you may get a piece of it, and he did right there.
So 4th and 4. Clark, they rush 4, the pass over the middle, and it's complete to Kenneth Simmons. And Simmons has a Karr first down.
Karr is carving up the defense right now of the Tigers.
55th catch of the season for the senior. He had 8 catches last week in the semifinal victory over Franklinton.
The coverage by Jake Kelly was way, way off. He was playing a zone that gave him a lot of opportunities to get some separation.
Clark will run for it on first down, does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Playing into Neville's hands there. Jamal Nelson, who has over 40 tackles on the year, wrapped him up and brought him down.
Just a design run that time. The blocking wasn't there. The defense does a fine job of staying at home. Didn't bite on the fake, and they understood what was about to happen to him. So they dealt with it very effectively that time. There's Jamal Nelson, the senior, strong safety.
2nd down and 11. Man in motion coming to the near side is Ralph. Neville rushes 5. They pick it up, and fires it over the middle of the field and incomplete. Strong arm there by Clark. But good coverage there by Neville. Is going to be a tough play there for the 5'7" Woolridge to make, and it's now 3rd and 11.
Still no pressure on Alvin Clark. He steps up and hums it, just threw it a little bit far, but man, he has got a strong arm. That was about 35 yards straight down the field, and he put it on a line over the outstretched arms of 2 defenders. It would have to have been a perfect pass for him to complete that one. Not a high percentage play, but sometimes you got to go for it.
Shard Lawrence was coming after Clark there at the end. Let's see if he can get to him here on this 3rd down and 11. As Neville comes with the pressure, Clark hit as he throws, and it's incomplete.
That's what it's going to take.
Big hit by Robert Williams on Clark. That now forces 4th and long.
Triple teamed is Rashad Lawrence. Watch him right there. He's triple teamed, and he gets pounded as he throws the football. Nobody there. The receiver got tripped up a little bit. It was intended for Diamante Woolridge again.
Jake Kelly on the coverage. 4th down and 11. The fans from Neville, who've made the long trip from Monroe, have been quiet, but making some noise here on this 4th down play. 10 seconds on the play clock. Clark gets everyone set. He lofts one up on the near sidelines, and it is going to be incomplete. Ball drifted a little bit too much to the sidelines. Ralph tried to make an athletic play, but it's a turnover on downs and a big play there for Neville, or a big series of plays for Neville after Karr started that drive in Tigers territory.
Cole Marsh was on the coverage, and he had a collarbone situation, and we'll talk about him more as we go into the break. Watch right here.
6:20 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Karr on the NFHS Network. Karr Cougars have one of the more entertaining entrances into a stadium when the contest begins. I always love watching. There's always a little bit something different with it. As the Karr Cougars and the Neville Tigers, these two teams hooking up in a state championship game once again. And we're all tied up at 7 as we move into the second quarter. Jeff Palermo along with Jimmy Frederick and Jessica Province. Karr lost to Neville in the quarterfinals last season. Karr Cougars in 2013 lost in a state championship game to East Jefferson 38-28 as Nick Saltaframaggio led East Jeff into a state title game. 5th state championship game appearance since 2010 for the Karr Cougars. And then for the Neville Tigers, they've won 11 state championships, trying to win back-to-back state titles for the 3rd time in program history and the 1st time since 1983-84. They have the football at their own 40-yard line, 2nd down and 3, and a flag flies.
It's going to be against Neville again, and that is their 4th penalty.
False start. 76 on the offense. Repeat 2nd down.
So Devin Phillips is the guy that was allowed the touchdown pass to be completed, and that time he is whistled for the 5-yard infraction.
So 2nd down and 8. And a movement there. Karr's trying to say, hey, it was Neville again. I don't know about that. We'll find out, though.
False start.
Wow.
76 on the offense. Replay 2nd down.
A little jumpy is our friend Devin Phillips.
So the penalties continue to pile up here for the Tigers, and now they're in a 2nd and 13 situation.
Watch him flinch right here. There he is. All he's got to do is twitch a little bit, and they got him 2 in a row.
This is a really good defensive line for Karr. They always seem to have outstanding defensive linemen. Andre Anthony is number 7 towards the top of your screen. He's the LSU commitment. Cole nowhere to throw, so he'll just run it. And he's over the line of scrimmage, I thought, Jimmy. And there's a flag, too. You got to watch out if that was a hit to the helmet, but he was over the line of scrimmage. There's 2 flags down.
There's 3 if you want to count them properly.
Cole has to regroup after that lick.
Yeah, he was definitely across the line of scrimmage when he threw it. He should have tucked it and run like he had planned on, and then all of a sudden he saw, you know, I'm going to try to get this one down the field. But he did get hit pretty hard after the fact.
Tim Boston, our referee.
Holding 76 on the offense. That is decline. Illegal forward pass on the offense. Lost it down. 3rd down.
Boy, I got to tell you, Devin Phillips is having a tough series. Here you go right here. Watch where he gets. The line of scrimmage is
The 30.
The 30. And he is at the 32 when he releases the football. And not only did he release the football past the line of scrimmage, he was throwing it to a guy that was covered by two defenders.
So 3rd down and long now for the Tigers. They'll hand it off or pitch it to D'Arson. He is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Tyler Casby, a junior defensive lineman, makes the tackle. And Neville will have to punt.
Well, a good job that time by the Karr defender to turn him in, number 9. I think it was Desmond Harris to turn him in. Making the tackle there is Tyler Casby.
So on the punt here for Neville, John Mitchell McDuffie. His last punt was a short one. This one's a little bit better, but not much. At least this time it takes a Neville bounce and roll. And Karr will still end up, though, with some good field position to the 38-yard line. Still works out okay for John Mitchell McDuffie. 11:04 to go before halftime. Karr and Neville all tied up at 7. And Karr will come back out there. Alden Clark will lead the troops out there. Here you take a look at one of the offensive linemen for the Karr Cougars. As that's Tyree Jones.
The Defense for the Neville Tigers has done they've been very effective over the last couple of series. They've got to continue to get pressure on Clark. Clark's been hit twice, but he's been pressured 3 times.
Handoff here, good penetration by the Neville defense and bringing him down. Antarius Gooden as he got to the ball carrier rather quickly as Ralph was held to a 3-yard rush.
Watch, here's a little bit of a delay on the handoff and actually trying to get it out of his hands into the hands of DRs.
Still no Tyrick Luckett. The word from the field and Jessica Province, it's a coaching decision at this point. He's not injured. So their 1,000-yard rusher just on the sidelines at this point. Not sure if we'll see him in this contest. Clark will throw, and this one gets a lot of air under it, and there is going to be a penalty. Wow.
He has floated a lot of passes out there trying to let the receiver run under it, and so far he's only connected on 1 of those. He's overthrown his receiver 5 times on that fly route. Pass interference is what's going to be called, and that is unfortunate because it seems like it was fairly incidental.
Pass interference, 21 defense, first down.
Let's send it down to the field and Jessica Province. Jessica?
Well, Jeff, this Carr team has adopted a motto of finishing. Now, that came after their 0-3 start on the season under first-year head coach Bryce Brownell. Since then, they are 9-1, but if you read anything about this team lately, it's all about finishing. Each player wants to come into this dome and finish what they not necessarily started this season, but what they've developed going in. Jeff?
Thanks, Jessica. So first down and 10. They set up the screen here, and we thought we'd see more of these kind of screens to Racy McMath. And McMath has a first down. Great run after the catch by the junior wide receiver who has 49 grabs on the year. First time we've seen him make a catch. Had 8 grabs last week in the semifinal win over Franklinton.
Well, they're trying to set up the screen so that they can make sure that Rashad Lawrence is moving side to side, but so far they have contained Rashad Lawrence and they've taken some shots downfield. I think it's smarter to get these shorter passes going instead of trying to throw those fly routes that they've had some trouble getting down the field with.
Robert Williams on the tackle, Carr on the move again, but they've had a couple of drives here and in Neville territory. Zips this one in there to Woolridge. Woolridge stays on his feet and then tripped up at the 17-yard line. Reaching up and just making a tackle there was Cole Marsh, who's coming back from a broken collarbone earlier this year. The strong safety makes a touchdown-saving tackle here.
This is the play that they've been so effective with in the last little bit of this game, and that is the quick slants and the quick passes to the receivers.
Clark throws to the end zone, batted away. Great coverage there by Kendrick Marbles.
The one time he didn't get enough air on it is that one, because he's been getting it well over his defenders and his receivers. Watch here, he's got plenty of time to throw it, but he doesn't give the defensive line much of a chance. Great play on the ball as he turned to make the play, and Marbles does a fine job of making the play, knocking it away.
Carr is inside the Coke Zero red zone. Second down and 10. Simmons in motion. Ralph joins Cole in the backfield. They run the option. Ralph dodges one tackler, turns on the Jets, and then turns on the shifty hips, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. How about that? Tyron Ralph with an 18-yard touchdown run.
Perfect pitch. Watch it here. He's going to accept the fact that he's going to be hit. He read it perfectly, and then boom. Ralph, look at the swivel hips on that young man as he breaks it into the end zone, and you can pick your cleats up after the ball game. They are off your toes.
Extra point try coming up for Carr as they have regained the lead in this Class 4A state championship game, and that is through the upright. So the Carr Cougars, the number 14 seed in the Class 4A playoffs, people forgot about them after they lost their first 3 games, and then they got thumped towards the end of the year in a game that Alden Clark missed. But this team is legit when you got special athletes like Tyron Ralph.
Agreed. And the blocking has been very good. Alden Clark is mixing it up, and I like the fact that they're not relying just on Alden Clark's arms. They're also letting the receivers and the running backs make some plays. And it's been a good mix of pass run on their 2 scoring drives.
Ralph had 3 touchdowns in a quarterfinal win over Bastrop. Karr trailed that game, I mentioned that earlier, 22-0, ended up winning it 48-36. Fell behind last week in the semis to Franklinton, 34-21. As you look at some of the Karr fans that are here watching this one, they are so used to being to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. This program started in 1991. They won their first title in 93, won again in 2012 when Jabbar Jalouk was the head coach. Speedy Knoll was the quarterback. They beat Neville that year 29-22 after losing to Neville in 2011 in the state championship game. This kick will be returned from the 5-yard line. And up to the 21 is the returner. He was brought down by Colby Jefferson. On the return for Neville was Jontavius Woods.
Good coverage that time on special teams, and Jontavius Woods brings him down.
So first down and 10 at the 21 for Neville. Now, we didn't see Donald Jenkins on that last drive. He's back out there, so when he's out there, Neville scores touchdown. So let's see what happens. He didn't play in the first drive. Played on the second drive, Neville scored. Didn't play in the last drive. They didn't score, and he's back out there here for the 4th drive of the night. J.D. Cole will roll to his left, stops, no one downfield, he'll run it, tries to get a block from Cole, fumbles the football, and the Cougars got it. The Cougars recover it. Jumping on it was Deontay Magruder, and a big turnover in this game.
He is not finding any help downfield. The receivers are covered like blankets. And then right here, somebody just punches it out. He wasn't hit particularly hard. He just lost a handle. And my goodness, Magruder falls on it. And great field position here for the Karr Cougars as they have really come out here making some flawless plays so far.
Second time they've started a drive in Neville territory. First punching that ball out of there for Karr, by the way, was Devon Harris, who's a Division I prospect, just a junior, though. First and 10 here for Clark. Clark looking to his left, going deep once again, and there's an interception. Kendrick Marbles picks it off, and Neville gets the ball back at their own 8-yard line. Marbles' first interception of the year.
They've been picking on Marbles all game long, and he's come close several times, and this was, again, makes the turn, watches the quarterback's eyes, turns on the ball and makes the play. Underthrown just a little bit, but a great interception for Marbles.
Kenneth Simmons was the intended receiver, so Neville dodges a bullet. They've been relying on their defense for much of the season, and they come up with a big play there. So now it's first down and 10 at the 8-yard line. Cole will hand it off, and look at this is Diarse. Diarse, no one within 15 feet of him, turns on the Jets to the 25 and then shoved out of bounds. Josh Diarse, his longest run of the season.
Blaze Van Buren, number 70, pulls, opens up that hole. Huge. Watch right here. Nobody there to find him. And also Devin Phillips does a good job making up for some of the mistakes he had on a couple of earlier drives, or the last drive when he had 3 penalties in a row. And that was a big block for Devin Phillips and Blaze Van Buren. Good job to open up that hole, but you can't say too much about Diarse, and he is just off to the races. Very speedy young man, and he's only 5'6", 160 pounds.
74-yard run for Josh Diarse. Last year, Neville had Cavante Turpin, who had a really good freshman season at TCU this year, and there's some more movement there by Devin Phillips.
Man, you just can't have that in this situation, and Devin's going to come out, there's no question.
3-play first down.
First down and 15 at the 23 now.
Armando Shea will check into the game for Phillips at the left tackle, the left guard spot.
Jenkins in the backfield with Cole as they have to check with me at the sidelines. First down and 15 after another pre-snap penalty on Neville. Jenkins gets it, bounces it to the outside, makes a nice move, bounces off the tackler, heading to the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers!
I wasn't prepared to agree with you until now. When he's in the game, they score touchdowns. What a great athletic move on the spin at the 10-yard line. Bounces off 2 tacklers and somehow finds the end zone. Watch it here on the replay. Was going to go inside, nothing there. Good block on the outside to seal it, and then there's the spin at the 15-yard line. Breaks another tackle, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. 13 points now for the Neville Tigers.
20th touchdown of the season for Donald Jenkins. And boy, has this game changed all of a sudden. It's Charlie Barefoot.
Wow, that was a pretty impressive job by the holder to get that ball down, because that was a bobbled snap. Had to hold up on the kick.
So it looked like Karr would have an opportunity to go up by 2 scores. Clark throws his 9th interception of the season, and then 2 plays later, Donald Jenkins is in the end zone.
Watch this, right here, there's a spin, boom! Nobody's gonna be able to get him, and he was hit solidly by the linebacker and still shed the tackle. You gotta wrap them up. You cannot just push these guys off and bounce them around. You've got to wrap them up and bring them to the turf. Use your leverage and drive them into the ground.
You just don't see too many 200-pound running backs on the high school level. You just don't have that too often. And so when you got a guy like that, you understand just how difficult it is to bring someone of his caliber down. Kickoff team back out there for Neville. The kickoff return team out there for Karr. We have a good one, and they're having a chat there with Devin Phillips, trying to get his mind straight. A sophomore where he's made some mistakes here. Hopefully he'll be able to bounce back from it. Kirby Harden will kick it off. He has 40 touchbacks on the season. Warren Newman, Devin Bush ready to return for the Cougars. And a good kick here. And that one will get into the end zone.
He has an interesting little approach to the football. Actually looks like a high jumper.
I saw you running into the dome, that same kind of...
well, you know, I got a spring in my step when it's Christmas time like it is, you know. But it looks like a high jumper, just bounding his way toward the bar. But he's got a heck of a leg.
1st and 10 at the 20. We'll see how Alden Clark responds after throwing the interception.
He hasn't thrown many of them, that's for sure. I think that was his 10th of the season, I believe.
Just to give you an idea of how Clark has progressed as a sophomore, he threw for 1,700 yards.
Wow.
Here as a junior, he doubled that basically, 3,400 yards passing.
Also goes to the incredible confidence they have in their receivers.
And there's one of them, Demontre Woolridge, and he's off to the races. And he gets tripped up into Neville territory all the way up to the 40-yard line. So a 40-yard pass play between Clark and Woolridge.
That is such a hard pass to defend. One, it's coming out of the quarterback's hand very quickly. 2, it's hard to get in front of the guy on the slant, and the only reason they stopped him that time is because they just tangled their feet up, and it was number 21, Gary Strouder, the cornerback, who finally does catch it.
Strouder has an offer from Tennessee. He's definitely a Division I prospect. 1st and 10 at the 40. Here comes some pressure. Clark gets hit as he throws. Hangs another one up there, and it's incomplete. Well, he might be putting too much air on the ball right now.
No question about it.
Jacorian Andrews, who's got offers from Tennessee and Tulane, nearly had his 2nd interception of the year.
He has a very interesting release where he almost looks like he's throwing a windmill pass. He's looping it, and this is Woolridge that's hurt. I'm not sure exactly what happened, if he might have got his hand or his wrist under him and rolled over it. But the receiver had to play defender on that one, because that one was going to be intercepted by Marbles. There's no doubt that his release point is high, and it's coming out. It's putting way too much air under it, and that's what's happening on these passes.
And you got some good cornerbacks here for Neville. So
Well,
Jacorian Andrews and Corey Strouder. You get a couple of guys like that, Division I prospects, and an opportunistic defense.
That's
like
why
Neville is, it could get a little dangerous here for Clark.
Well, that's why I don't understand. They have done so effectively on those short passes. Watch here. And again, boy, if he doesn't play defender on that one, that's an interception by Jacorian Andrews. And like you said, one of the best in the game here in the state.
DeMonte Woolridge able to jog off on his own power, so that's good.
I think it's his left wrist. Just speculation, probably shouldn't do that, but it looks like he's holding his left arm regardless. And he has been so effective here in this first half. He has been a big part of this offense.
Wide receiver coming out to the near side is Racy McMahon. Two wide receivers in the slot, Ralph and Simmons on the near side. Clark in the backfield all by himself. 5 seconds on the play clock. 2 seconds on the play clock. Just gets the snap off. Here's the screen. Neville was ready for it.
They read that one perfectly.
On the tackle, Cole Marsh. 3rd and long now for Carr.
Watch this. Well, you're not going to see it, but he is going to drop back. It looked like he was going to drop into coverage. He saw the screen coming, sniffed it out perfectly, and laid out Simmons.
Under 8 minutes to go in this opening half of the Class 4A state championship game. This is the All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. 3rd and 14 for Carr from the Neville 44. Clark is going to go down. Sacked on the play. Coming in there despite what looks to be some sort of broken arm is Will Anders, a junior, making the play.
The first time they got to him, he comes off of a blitz and does a tremendous job to get to the quarterback, and that will end the drive right there.
Anthony Spurlock will punt it for Carr. He stands at his own 30. Ready to return for Neville is Corey Strouder. He's returned 2 touchdowns on punt returns. He's had 2 touchdowns this year. Will he get a chance to return this one? He backs away from it. No, now did he touch it? Yes, he did. Picks it up at the 11, and there we got a horse collar penalty.
No question.
And here it comes. Oh, boy. What could have been a disastrous play for Corey Strouder and the Neville Tigers is that it's going to turn out to be an effective play on special teams.
That'll be the first penalty for Carr, but man, that was a dangerous play by any stretch of the imagination. Don't think that the coach isn't over there telling him, dude, don't do that again. Don't do it again. Because if
Personal foul. Horse collar. On the return. 53 on the kicking team. First down.
They'll move the ball up to the 34-yard line.
8 penalties against Neville, just 1 against Carr in this first half of play. Watch this. Oh, my heavens, what am I doing? Then he has to pick it up. He got a fortuitous bounce. If that ball doesn't bounce high like it did, that was not really a horse collar.
It was enough. Tyler Casby. It's a tough call for the official.
Well, there's no question about that. But it was all Jersey.
So let's see what this Neville offense can do. They beat Carr in the quarterfinals last year 34-7. They like to spread the ball around, that's for sure. They've done that quite a bit in this game. Kenneth Johnson now the running back in there with Jaden Cole. Haven't seen the other quarterback. Christopher Haynes is a senior. Those two have shared time for much of the year, but Cole has seen more playing time in the postseason. But Cole did injure his ankle last week, and Haynes had to come in there, and Haynes actually did very well in the semifinal victory for Neville. The run here by Johnson, who's a junior.
Flag will fly.
And it looked like there was a face mask penalty there.
Boy, the defender shot the gap so well, just missed having a clean lick on Johnson. But that'll be the second, and it's going to need another big penalty for Carr. Moving the ball without having to do much offense.
23 on the defense. First down.
15-yard penalty on the face mask, gets it close to first midfield. Watch here. Boom! Boy, that was a bad face mask, too. That was a bad one.
You're not going to argue that one,
No,
are
sir,
you?
I will not. Yeah, that got it.
Yeah, Rashad Mosley got the hand in that face mask. First down and 10 here for Neville, looking for their first lead of the afternoon in this Class 4A state championship game, as they have it at their own 49-yard line. A little movement on the line, and Neville's had a hard time getting set.
Well, guess who that is? That's the
First down.
the player that has come in for Devin Phillips. That's number 60, Armando Shea. Watch here. He's going to step right back. He's right on the left of your screen, right there. Somehow they're not getting the calls in. Somehow there's a miscommunication, but it's that position that's having trouble with the false start. That's the 5th one on that position.
Cole, here comes the pressure from the backside, just got rid of it, had a man wide open. I mean, you can't find a guy more wide open on a play, but unable to hit him. That's Bobby Newton.
Well, he wasn't even looking at that receiver, I'm afraid. He was looking at the streak receiver down the line, and he gets pounded as he releases the football. He was actually, I think he was trying to throw it to the fly pattern on the sideline.
Rashad Mosley was the man that hit Cole as he delivered the football. Second down and 15. Pistol formation here for Neville. Johnson, the running back, with Cole. Lined up in the slot is Quentin Geis. Running is Cole. Cole puts his head down and gets 7 yards to the 49.
A good run by Cole, but had he followed his blocker a little bit better, he would have had a shot. Here, watch this. He's got some opportunity. He's going to tuck it and run. He's designed run for him. Now, if he follows 53 and goes outside of 53, he's got a much better shot at getting more yardage.
Cole hurt his ankle last week, could not finish the semifinal game. And here,
that's the same problem.
Looks like he's having a trouble again with that ankle, as he cannot put any pressure on that right foot. He'll need to be helped off the field. So Christopher Haynes will come in and quarterback. He's thrown for 500 yards, 5'11", 155 pounds, so not as big as Jaden Cole, but he's thrown 5 touchdowns and he's completed 62% of his passes. Number 14, Christopher Haynes, has entered the football game. So at least they've been playing 2 quarterbacks for much of the year.
Right.
This is not a unique situation for Haynes to come in. But Cole has been the better QB of late. Well, let's see, an opportunity here for Haynes, a senior, in his final high school football game of his career, to deliver. And now we might have a timeout.
Why is timeout? There was some confusion on the offense, and they had to change quarterbacks, so probably a good thing they did.
14-14 is our score in this Class 4A state championship game on the NFHS Network.
The Louisiana High School Athletic Association would like to recognize our regional healthcare partners for providing medical coverage for over 90,000 student athletes at state events this year. For more information on this partnership, log on to LHSAA.org.
Inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, Jeff Palermo, Jimmy Frederick, and Jessica Province down on the sidelines. This is the All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Glad you can join us here on the NFHS Network.
You know, a lot of states don't have the opportunity to play in a facility like this for their state championship games, and we're very lucky that we're able to play in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It really is, not only are you playing for the state championship, but you're actually playing in the Superdome, which is, you know, these guys, it's old hat for these guys, but for some folks, you know, it really is a big, big deal to be playing on the field the Saints play on, and fans get a treat, and so do the players.
3rd down and 9 here for Christopher Haynes. Low snap, looks to throw, delivers a pass, and a nice catch in traffic. And that's going to be a first down. Good grab there by Quentin Geis.
Uh-oh, Geis looks like he might have got the wind knocked out of him. I hope that's it. Watch this. Great pickup by Blaze Van Buren. Van Buren picks up the blitz. He's going to go down, and I think he got the wind knocked out of him. I think he's going to be all right, but what a great catch. Yeah, he's all right.
Christopher Haynes delivered that ball. That was a nicely thrown pass. He's been sitting on the sidelines here for a long time, Jimmy, and you come out there. Now, granted, had a little time to warm up because of the timeout and whatnot, but still an excellent pass on the near side.
But it shows the confidence that you have in your, you want to call him your second-string quarterback. He's played a lot all season long, and that says a lot about the coaching staff's confidence in him.
Handed off here. This is Diarse. Diarse turns upfield. And he continues to break tackles before he gets hammered on the play. Casey Nagoto on the tackle. But a nice play there by Josh Diarse.
Textbook tackle. Watch this. First of all, good blocker, but he's so small and so shifty. Look, he spins out of one tackle and then boom, driven to the turf. If you want to know how to tackle somebody, why don't you go check in with Mr. Nagogo.
2nd down and 1. 4.5 and counting till halftime. Haynes still out there. Haynes will hand it off to Diarse. That time he could not get away. That was Tyler Casby that hit him first, and then he was finished off by Darnell Bridges, a junior linebacker that's really emerged for this Karr team as the season has gone on.
I like the way that this young running back and the small running back is able to take some punishment. First of all, Tyler Casby hits him pretty hard, and then Bridges, the junior linebacker, really kind of folds him up like a handkerchief.
Diarse and Haynes in the backfield still. 1st down and 10. And Haynes kept it that time, and he gets slammed to the turf by Aaron Kent, the Southeastern Louisiana Lion commitment.
Perfect read that time by the quarterback. Cole read the defensive line and read the defensive end. He knew the end was going to take the handoff man to the running back, pulls it back. Very smart for Haynes to keep that football.
2nd down and 9.
Didn't get a lot out of it, but still a wise choice. It was the correct read.
Haynes rolls to his left, lofts one deep. It's going to be a jump ball, deflected out of there. A lot of contact, though.
He was doing chin-ups on his arm.
Leonte Harris battling with Quentin Geis for the football, and Harris may be guilty of pass interference.
Maybe is probably an understatement. Watch this. First of all, he's got his arm on his jersey. Then he's doing the pull-ups on the arm, and he just slung him down before the ball ever got there. But the ball was underthrown. But you see them taking a shot with the quarterback Haynes, and I like to see that. And Neville trying to put it in the end zone and break this deadlock right before halftime.
Pass interference, number 4 on the defense. 1st down.
Only the 3rd penalty, but each one of them have been 15-yarders.
Big penalties called against Karr. This will move the football into the Coke 0 red zone as they get the ball to the 13 now. Christopher Haynes has done well here for the injured Jaden Cole. Diarse to the right. Diarse gets the football. Diarse bounces it to the outside. Diarse angled out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Leonte Harris on the tackle, but Josh Diarse having a good game running the football, probably over 100 yards rushing for that young man.
Good block right there on the outside by number 32. Does a fine job of sealing it on the outside, and that's Chandler Moses, the tight end. And without Moses, it would have been a lot less of a positive game.
2nd down and 3. Neville gets lined up. Another opportunity for Diarse. Diarse gets hit at the line of scrimmage, moves forward though. Darnell Bridges just made a nice tackle. Let's get an update on Jaden Cole with Jessica.
Well, Jeff, he has left the field. Now, this could be just an early exit into halftime, but he left the field with ice on his right ankle, shoe on, and tape still on. So we'll try and get an update for you as soon as we can.
So Donald Jenkins got the carry. That wasn't Diarse, that was Donald Jenkins. 1st and goal at the 3. So hopefully Jaden Cole can get back out there, but right now Haynes is leading the troops down the field. 1st and goal. Jenkins already has 1 touchdown. Will he get number 2 here? Gets hit hard, and then there's a flag, probably a holding penalty on Neville.
Yep.
It might be against the blocking back there for the Tigers, Cole McMarty.
Let's wait for Tim Boston from the Hammond Association to make the call. He's had a lot of work today.
Holding 77 on the offense. Replay 1st down.
Now it's going to be on Joctavius Phillips.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. You know, the unfortunate thing, too, Jenkins had already
Passed it.
past the point of where the holding call occurred on Phillips. 6'5", 285 pounds for Joctavius Phillips. 3 seniors on this offensive line for Neville that average 242 pounds. So a big unit. They've done a good job this season. They needed to execute coming into this contest, and they've had their ups and downs so far. And now we're going to have a timeout called by Neville. So the Tigers now just have 1 more timeout before halftime.
Well, it might give them a little more room to work, and I'd like to see if they let Haynes throw the football 1 or 2 more times here, especially this close. If they throw some slants, quick slants across the middle.
Well, to purchase a DVD keepsake copy of today's event, click on the blue Get the DVD button directly under your event in the video player, or click on a Buy a DVD button on the top right-hand corner of the NFHS Network website.
Easy enough. Haynes has come in here after the injury to Cole, and he has been an effective quarterback, an effective leader during this drive. Now, Karr is keying on the running backs, and I think they're going to have to throw the football or at least get it outside. I wouldn't mind seeing even a little screen pass, which I'm not an advocate of most of the time, just because they don't seem to work, especially at the high school level, because they're not set up effectively. But I do not think they're going to be doing that with this formation, I can tell you that.
Haynes. Diarse is out there. Diarse not set up right now, has to shift. Have a double wing package here. All kinds of pressure, and the ball is deflected. Getting in there, there's the LSU commitment. Andre Anthony, the 6'4" senior. We told you earlier, Karr lost their first 3 games of the season. Andre Anthony was ineligible for those 3 games, dealing with his transfer from Miller McCoy. You can see he can make a big impact, and Karr's only lost 1 game since he's returned. 2nd and goal from the 13. Just over 2 minutes to go as Neville's inside the Coke Zero red zone. Diarse gets an opportunity. Diarse upended at the 5-yard line as he was hit by Casey Nkoko. 3rd and goal.
Now you spread the field and you pound it up the middle. Good cut, nice block on the outside. That's good vision by the running back as he saw the hole, cut back against the grain, and gets a big-time play to the 5. Got to get this in the end zone as they are a minute 34 to go to halftime here.
Karr has an opportunity to use some of their timeouts if they wanted to get the ball back here, but they're willing just to let the clock roll, and Neville will use its final timeout with over a minute left, a minute 16 left to go before half. So these 2 teams have been trading touchdowns so far in this first half. Neville fell behind 7-0. They tied it up though on the long touchdown pass from Jaden Cole to Quentin Geis. Tyron Ralph, an explosive 18-yard run, would give Karr a 14-7 lead in the 2nd quarter, but Donald Jenkins' 23-yard touchdown run for Neville tied the game up at 14. And Neville has an opportunity to grab its first lead here just before halftime.
When Neville has been effective running the football, they've been able to get some good pull blocks by the guards. And If they can continue to do that, this is going to be a big, I would imagine this is 4-down territory for them. I don't know what their field goal kicker situation is. I think they got a pretty good field goal kicker.
They got a good field goal kicker in Charlie Barefoot, who's 5 of 7.
Can't get a better name than Barefoot for your kicker.
No,
you just can't.
Christopher Haynes leads the troops back out on the field. Jenkins will line up to the right of him. Put a man in motion. Haynes will roll out to the right. He's got a man open, and it is a touchdown.
That's what I like to see. Neville throwing the football on the sprint out. Tremendous job. Everybody expected to run up the middle, and nobody picked up the tight end into the flats.
That is Robert Williams with the touchdown. He starts as a linebacker there. He makes the grab for a touchdown. He's the brother of Hootie Jones, who's now with Alabama. And now the extra point try from the aforementioned Charlie Barefoot, as Neville has its first lead of the ball game. Haynes on the hold. The kick is good, and the Neville Tigers now lead at 21-14.
As fast as Karr started this football game and that the penalties started mounting with Neville, you know, you just never got a sense that Neville was going to get back in the football game, and they've done just that. That's why they've won 25 straight. And you also got to think about the mindset of these young guys. I would personally be playing tight. They're not playing tight. They started off a little tight, but they've loosened up, and now they're playing their usual Neville type football, and it's been very effective here. Quieted the crowd because it was a loud stadium when Karr was running the football and throwing the football as well as they were. And right now it is all Neville because they have settled down. They haven't gotten a penalty in a while. And now, even though they've lost their starting quarterback at the moment, Christopher Haynes has come in and has made some big plays and some smart plays. And he has gotten some good protection from his offensive line. And the defense has started keying better on the receivers.
Well, this game turned on that interception by Kendrick Marbles. Remember, there was the fumble. Karr recovered in Neville territory. They were up 14-7, had an opportunity to go up 21-7. Clark threw an interception to Marbles on the next play after the fumble, and since then, Neville has been in control of this football game. This one going to be taken from the goal line, and on the return, all the way up to about the 25-yard line, that was Warren Newman who returned it. So 70 seconds here for Karr. They got all 3 timeouts, so plenty of time for the Cougars if they want to try to tie this thing up before halftime.
But what I don't think they need to do is wing it way down the field and try to let the receiver run under it. They have been effective when they throw the short slants and the quick outs.
Let's see what they decide to do. Bryce Brown, the first-year head coach, as he replaced Nathaniel Jones, who after 2 seasons did a lot of good things here at Karr, including bringing Karr to a state championship. Quick pass out here to the near side and getting hit. Well, that was the play you called for, Jimmy. Colby Jefferson, though, was hit immediately by Jacorian Andrews, who's now slow to get up.
Well, when you have cornerbacks like Jacorian Andrews who see what's going on and see the field so well and also can close. You see the speed of which he closed on that football. He was 5 or 6 yards away from the play, and when the ball got to him, he was diving at the receiver. Great play by Jacorian Jones. Excuse me, Jacorian Andrews.
Andrews, who was a free safety earlier this season, they moved him to cornerback during the middle of the year. Coach Mickey McCarty really thought that his athleticism played better at cornerback, and might have a
stinger, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a little stinger. Hopefully he'll be okay. It's been a physical game between these two teams that know each other so well, as they've played several times here in the playoffs. 3rd time they've met in the state championship game in the last 5 years. Clock running again here as we approach 40 seconds to go. Here comes some pressure. Clark throws an interception. He just hangs on to it. Oh, I thought he was going to drop it. That's Marbles, his 2nd interception, and Neville is in business again with 31 seconds left.
And this is where Mickey McCarty puts the foot on the gas and finishes this half. Is that Alden Clark?
Offensive lineman for Carr, slow to get up, but how about the Margles there, bobbling it, able to get it, and so 2 interceptions there. He didn't have an interception at all this year, and he gets 2 in the Class 4A state championship game. So 31 seconds left to go. Now Neville does not have any timeouts, so they got to be careful with what they do here.
We've already seen that Haynes can complete some passes, and they need to let him do that, I think, if they're going to go for it.
Diarce in the backfield with them. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Keep an eye on Quentin Geis. He's the wide receiver to the near side. They look in his direction. Haynes throws, and off the hands of Geis, out of bounds.
I'm not sure if Geis didn't think that that ball was actually intended for Diarce, due to the fact that he kind of short-armed it. He kind of whiffed at it. But regardless, it's incomplete. Plenty of time to throw the football for Haynes. Good job for the offensive line to give him some protection. Of course, the max coverage back in the backfield, making sure they don't let anybody get behind them. They need to get the ball to about the 20 to have a real solid opportunity to kick a field goal. So just 5 yards there.
Haynes looking to the left. They set up the screen to Geis. Geis gets out of bounds. That was really the biggest thing. Move upfield, get out of bounds, and he does at the 17. 3rd down, just over 20 seconds to go.
I like the little hitch route. Makes the catch. Gets out of bounds, like you said. High football IQ. Knew what he needed to do. Made sure he got out of bounds. That was key.
Inside the Coke Zero red zone, once again, are the Neville Tigers. They've scored the last 14 points in this game, looking to add on right before halftime. Haynes looking, throws to the near side, and a nice catch by Geis. 17 seconds left.
The only place that Haynes could have thrown that football to make sure that the cornerback didn't make a play on it is right where he did. Great job for Geis to keep his feet in play. But you know what? I'm really seeing some confidence here by the quarterback who's come off the bench, and that's Christopher Haynes. Cole brings a lot of different tools to the matchup, but when you get Haynes out there, he seems to be much more confident in the pocket throwing the football.
He'll throw again as he rolls to his left, and he throws nearly an interception. I'm not sure where he was going with that football.
He expected the receiver to turn inside, curl out actually. Instead, he curled in.
Almost picked off by Lewis Johnson.
Flag on the play. Got to be a hold or a block in the back right there, I think.
Neville has been just hampered by the penalties in this first half.
7 offense, repeat 1st down.
So now you got 12 seconds here, Jimmy. You really got 2 plays.
10 penalties against Neville.
That's a big one there, all the way back out to the 26.
Just in the first half. That is hard to accept.
Lewis Johnson will have to sit out this next play as he was shaken up after trying to get the interception.
Yeah, he kind of fell right down on top of the ball.
So here we go. Haynes back to pass. Looking. Goes to the end zone, and it is knocked away. Nicely done there by the defensive back. Outstanding play by Jalen Bell.
Yep.
And we have a half a dozen seconds left.
Well, I think you give Barefoot an opportunity.
It would be a 43-yard field goal.
Well, they're going to let Barefoot give it a shot. I'm going to say that a lot just because I enjoy it.
He had a big field goal last week in Neville's win over Warren Easton. Let's see what he can do here.
43-yard attempt, and they're going to ice him, or at least try to.
Carr uses one of their 3 timeouts.
Never really been fond of that.
No, I'm not fond of it at all. But I just don't think it really works.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely not.
But if you're Carr, you have 3 timeouts here. Let's just use one and make them think about it.
Right.
So that's what they've decided to do. There you look at the head coach for the Carr Cougars, Bryce Brown, to replace Nathaniel Jones. He was the offensive coordinator under Jones. He is the 4th head coach in Carr history. Played offensive line here at Carr in his senior season. He played for Jabbar Jalouk and then went on to Grambling, where he played on Grambling's 2005 SWAC championship team, became the offensive coordinator and line coach in 2007, and here he is in his first season as a head coach.
Where's Jabbar Jalouk now? Do you know?
Jabbar Jalouk is an assistant coach at Louisiana Tech.
Always enjoyed working with him.
So with here is the 43-yard field goal try from Barefoot, and Barefoot's strong enough, and it's no good, wide left. And there's still a couple of, or 1 second left to go before halftime.
Well, I think it was the right move for sure, and he just pushed it. Just pushed it a little bit. I know he's upset with himself, but they will still likely go into the locker room with the lead. Watch it here. He just simply puts it, had plenty of leg, and just never quite started it out in the right spot. He needed to get a little bit over to the right and let it hook in a little bit, and he just didn't do it. But a lot of leg. He could have kicked it from 53.
Final play of the first half.
Going for broke. Going for broke.
Well, they barely just got the handoff off. It's probably the smart thing for the running back there, DeMonte Woolridge, just to go on the ground. An exciting first half, and the Neville Tigers are 24 minutes away from back-to-back state championships for the third time in school history. And Jessica Province has a chance to speak with Mickey McCarty. Jessica?
Jeff, thanks so much. Coach, penalties have been a major part of this game. How did you eliminate those moving forward?
We got to do a better job focusing on the game. I think we got some guys that, I think the stage may have got to them a little bit here in the first half. It's got to settle down a little bit. We got some young players playing in there that hadn't been here before, but they'll be okay. They got to settle down and play.
Facing some adversity in the quarterback position, do you believe Cole will be coming back in?
It's hard to say. We'll go back in and evaluate it. We'll just see how it goes. But Christopher did a good job coming in, as he's done all year long. We got confidence in him, too.
What will be your message to your team to kind of settle them down?
Yeah, we understand it's a championship game. We've been here before. We've been in wars before. We got to go in, settle down, play the game. We got to minimize our mistakes and keep playing hard. They're a very quick strike offense, so defense has done a good job in the first half. Got to keep playing hard.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck. Jeff?
Thanks a lot, and class act there, and Mickey McCarty. The Karr Cougars and the Neville Tigers. 21-14 is our score here on the NFHS Network. (21-14) is our score as the Neville Tigers are leading the Edna Karr Cougars. Jessica Province is caught up with Edna Karr head coach Bryce Brown. Jessica?
Jeff, thanks so much. Coach, you talked about offense dictating this game. How would you evaluate what your team's been able to do so far?
I mean, we've been fortunate to score 2 touchdowns. Our tempo is struggling right now. We're going to see how we come out in the second half. We got to find our open slots, and we got to push the ball down the field vertically.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Jessica. So maybe some more deep passes here for the Karr Cougars. If Eldon Clark's got to get a little bit more accurate with those passes.
Well, I think one, he needs to throw the ball to the receiver a little bit more instead of just lofting it up and letting the receiver run under it. Make the throws a little bit more specific to the receivers, but I am so impressed with the way they throw those short, quick passes across the middle and also their out routes. So I hope they don't go too crazy with the long ball because, quite frankly, they have been very effective when they've thrown the football 10, 12 yards down the field.
The Neville Tigers already up by a touchdown. Will get the ball to begin this second half. We'll see if Jaden Cole will return for them. Remember, he went down with what appeared to be an ankle injury late in the first half, but Christopher Haynes filled in well as the backup quarterback for Neville.
I was very impressed with Christopher Haynes. He came off the bench, didn't look like he missed a beat, and certainly didn't look like he was having any trouble not having been in a rhythm, because he came out and threw his first play was a pass, a perfect strike, and he has been very, very accurate since then. And I got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line for Neville. They've done a good job of keeping off the big boys from Karr.
They got to do better in the penalty department. That's been the issue for them.
That's without question.
Chili Durantale will kick it off, ready to return. It's Corey Strouder for the Neville Tigers. And Strotter will actually not get an opportunity. This is going to be Quentin Geis, and Geis bursts through there up to the 38-yard line. Nice return by Geis of 28 yards.
Boy, one person away from breaking that one. A great tackle, though, in the open field. But, man, the burst of speed that Geis had on that one was absolutely spectacular.
So 1st and 10 here from the 39-yard line for the Neville Tigers. And Jaden Cole has returned for Neville. So Jaden Cole able to retape that right ankle. He's got a lot of wrap on it, but he's back out there, and Donald Jenkins is in the backfield with him. Quentin Geist, a wide receiver, all the way up to the far side. Jenkins to the left of Cole. Low snap. Cole keeps it, tests that gimpy ankle, and gets maybe 2 yards.
Boy, the offensive line got punched in the mouth that time by the defensive line. The line came out and fired off and really got a good push. Watch on the offensive line. You've got white jerseys all the way in the backfield from the start of that play, and didn't get much. Good job by the Carr defense to stick with it.
Darnell Bridge has finally brought him down, a gain of 2 as you take a look at the gimpy ankle for Jaden Cole, the junior quarterback. Cole will hand it off to Diarce. Diarce, who's done so well running the football, has another big play to the 25, and he stays on his feet. No, he stepped out of bounds at the 14, but another long run by Josh Diarce.
Devin Phillips has made some mistakes tonight. He's the sophomore left guard, but he has also made some tremendous blocks. Watch right here. You're going to see him, number 76. He picked up a block earlier in the play. He's the person that sprung Diarce out, and you saw him step out of bounds right there at about the 12-yard line or the 15-yard line, make it the 14.
Neville inside the Coke Zero red zone as it's 1st and 10 at the 14. Carr needs to come up with a defensive stand here. Cole and Jenkins in the backfield. Low snap, they get it off to Jenkins. Jenkins gets maybe 3 to the 11-yard line. Tyler Casby, one of the defenders there for the Carr Cougars. They give him 3 yards on this run.
You talked about Jenkins and how, as a 200-pounder, how difficult he is to bring down, and he really is. And when they mix up Diarce and Jenkins like they have, it really has been effective in giving the defense some different looks, because Jenkins is so big, so powerful. Diarce is more of a scat-back type. Hard to pick up both of those guys when they're in the game.
2nd and 7. Jenkins gets another chance here, but the LSU commitment gets him in the backfield. Andre Anthony had his hands on him, and it's going to be a loss of a yard. So 3rd and 8. Couple of wide receivers will come in to the ball game for Neville.
Not much doing that time. Shed his block, and there was no way he was going to let Jenkins get out of his grasp. You know, we haven't called his name a lot, but only because he's been double and triple teamed, just like his counterpart on the other side of the line, Rashad Lawrence.
Well, he's lined up on the near side of the field, so keep an eye on him, number 7 for the Carr Cougars. Can he get to Jaden Cole? A draw here, but stumbling is Josh Diarce, and he loses another yard. They'll bring the field goal team on, so we'll see Charlie Barefoot try to kick another field goal.
Just a delayed handoff that time. He just lost his footing, and he also saw Andre Anthony out of the corner of his eye. And I know in his mind he had to be thinking, even if it was subconsciously, that, man, I do not want to get hit by that cat.
31-yard field goal here for Barefoot. Snap down, and this one looks pretty good, and it is through the uprights. And Neville has extended its lead to 24-14. On the 31-yard field goal, and the fans from Monroe, they're feeling good, but they know there's still a long way to go in this game.
Yeah, without question. When you've got a quick strike offense like the Cougars have, these guys can drive down the field very quickly and make things happen. So it's going to be up to the defense to do as they've been doing. They have done a much better job of covering the receivers, and they've been getting pressure on Alden Clark. They haven't hit him a bunch of times, but they have hurried him some, and that has changed the complexion of the game a little bit here and there.
Well, if you're Mickey McCarty at halftime, you're thinking, boy, it sure would be nice to take the opening kickoff in the second half, drive down the field, and at least get some points on the board. That's exactly what they do there to give them a 10-point lead. As now Neville has scored the last 17 points in this game. Curfew Harden will tee it up. Warren Newman, Devin Bush ready to return for the Cougars.
He will bound to the football.
You can't get enough of this approach.
I cannot.
I don't know how you do that, to be honest with you. I think I'd tear an ACL if I tried to do that. Into the end zone,
as
that's
athletic
a
as our kicker.
Curfew Harden booms it. It works for him, whatever it does.
Well, yeah, that's right.
It certainly works for him.
You know, sometimes it's not about...
I wonder when he gets his diploma and he has to go across the stage, if that's what he does.
I would bet you dollars to donuts that he is a high jumper as well. I would bet that. When you're happy, you're happy.
He gets an A on his test, and that's what he does.
Little hop, skip, and a jump high five down the hall.
All right, Alden Clark. Some good, some bad from him, the junior quarterback. Couple touchdown passes, but he also threw two interceptions. Clark winds up, throws another deep ball here, and perfectly placed and staying on his feet is Kenneth Simmons. Can anybody grab him? Simmons is thrown down to the turf at the 5-yard line. Now Marble says he has the football, and he does! Wow.
Holy cow! Marbles chased him down from across the
now,
field.
Wait a minute, are they saying he was out of bounds back at the 43-yard line? I think they do. They are. It's still going to be Cards football. Apparently, Simmons stepped out of bounds at the 43.
Well, that was more of a pinpoint pass. Watch Alden Clark here from the back. This is a great angle that you'll see. He steps up and throws the football. Again, that looping motion, but he hit his man in stride just perfectly. Now let's watch where he steps out of bounds. Right there. Yeah, no question about it. Good call by the officials. But then, if you get to see this, watch. Marbles comes from nowhere, chases him down, and takes the ball away from him. Still got the football, and that is an absolute takeaway had he not stepped out of bounds.
They work the slant again. The Tyron Ralph, who gets it up to the 30, and Carr is in business. Another first down. Gain of about 13 there. And the Cougars, you heard Bryce Brown, their head coach, say they want to play with a little bit more pace offensively. They quickly get up to the line of scrimmage.
They have not, Neville has not been able to stop that quick slant. It's such a difficult pass route to stop. They're playing basic man-to-man right now, and Alden Clark is picking them apart at the moment. 5
wide receiver look. Again, no Tyreek Luckett so far for Carr in this game. Clark will run it, and Clark will just run out of bounds at the 25 as Corey Straughter was coming upfield defensively for Neville. Gain of 5 for Clark, who's rushed for 555 yards on the season coming into this game. Shows off some of the good feet that goes along with that good arm he has.
3 rushers didn't get much of the penetration. Good coverage downfield, but when you give up that much room, Alden Clark is going to make you pay for it.
2nd and 5. Clark will throw. There was that slant pattern, but it was tipped. The Neville defender got his hands on it. That sets up 3rd down here for the Cougars.
They have been able to get to this position on the field almost every drive, almost
Seems
at
like
will,
it, yeah.
you know, and then something, there you go, you saw the big paw, it looked like Anthony Robinson might have gotten a paw on it. Robinson's.
Might have been Lawrence, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't Robinson. Robinson's only 5'6". It wasn't Robinson.
That was Lawrence getting his hand on there to deflect that pass. So 3rd and 5. Probably 4-down territory here for the Cougars. As Clark will look to his left now over the middle, and there's another completion and another big play, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Colby Jefferson.
His first catch of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
His 3rd touchdown catch of the season. And the Cougars are right back in this thing.
Quick passes, they set it up with the long one, but then they came back to their bread and butter, and that's across the middle. And, Alden Clark is so good at those quick passes across the middle. hard to get pressure on him when the ball's already out of his hands by the time you even think about it.
And the extra point is blocked, so it stays
That's
a
big
4-point game.
Big block.
But Edna Karr finally gets back on the scoreboard. It had been a while for the Cougars as Alden Clark delivers his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. He threw 4 last week after throwing for 443 yards in Carr's win over Franklinton. Let's watch this one again.
Plenty of time to throw the football. Great route. Leads his receiver just right. And again, nobody there to get the defender as soon as he makes the catch. Giving them some opportunities to get yards after catches, and that is something the defense has got to tighten up on.
So now it's up to Carr's defense to come up with a defensive stop. It's been a while. They've been allowing Neville to drive down the field and get some points on the board. Ready to return here for Neville, that's Corey Straughter. Corey Straughter, a junior. You're going to hear a lot more about him as he enters his senior season. A lot of SEC schools are going to be after this young man. Durant-Salé has it teed up.
A little different approach for Durant-Salé.
Yeah, kind of your straightforward 3 steps booted away. This will be returned from the 10-yard line by Geis. Geis bounces it out to the far side, and Geis will step out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Angling him out of bounds was Colby Jefferson, who just caught that touchdown pass for the Karr Cougars. So Neville's offense retakes the field. We'll see if Jaden Cole will remain out on the field, or do they bring back Christopher Haynes?
With Cole on the field, they do get something when he does bring different attributes to the quarterback position. But it seems to me that when Haynes is out there, you've got a much bigger threat to throw the football than you do with Cole.
So Cole is back out on the field as Neville will start this drive at their 35-yard line. Jenkins in the backfield with Cole. Do we have a timeout early on or
flag,
a delay a game?
Delay a game.
Oh, they had 12 guys on the field. And Neville had a player running off the field to the near side, so the penalties continue to pile up for the defending champion Tigers.
12 for 84 yards. That is hard to believe for the #1 team in the state that's won 25 straight.
Cole will keep it, and he'll lose yards. Nice defensive play by the Karr defensive lineman, Damon Harris, a junior who is the next great defensive lineman to come through here at Karr.
There's a lot to be said for momentum. Right now, Karr all of a sudden has the momentum back in their possession. And when you feel like you've got an opportunity, everybody revs up a little bit. And it's going to be up to Neville to break that momentum, get it back in their back pocket, and see if they can drive down the field here on some quick plays and use some clock.
Playing a clean game, stopping the pre-snap penalties can help for Neville. 2nd and 16. And now what do we have? Another flag and an illegal procedure.
Dead ball. False start. 76 on the offense. Replay 2nd down.
And Devin Phillips has had a tough day.
He has had some incredible blocks, but he has got 5 false starts.
So now it's going to be 2nd down and 21. Pistol formation, Jenkins straight ahead. Well, he makes something out of nothing, and then a couple of Cougars crash in on him at the 33. It'll be 3rd down and 12 once they respot the football. But a good run there by Jenkins. Had to get out of some traffic here, but able to bust through some tackles, some nice blocking too.
Yeah, good block by number 70.
Darnell Bridges and Nakoto on the tackle.
Blaze Van Buren, the senior right guard, drove one of the defensive linemen out of the way.
Cole, throwback. Geis catches it, breaks one tackle. Still on his feet, then finally tripped up. Great pursuit there by Damon Harris. I think it was Harris that missed the first tackle, but got him the second time, and Neville will have to punt.
The key for the defense is stay at home, and that's what they did on this throwback pass. And look at him, he's going to get up, he's going to come back and make the play. And that's the pursuit. That's what you teach a player. Even though you don't make the play initially, do not give up until that whistle is blown.
That was Deontay Magruder who kept at it. Oh, bad snap, but somehow the punter handles it. That was an excellent job. Handled it just like a shortstop did John Mitchell McDuffie. And Neville avoids a disastrous play there. 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. It is 24-20. Neville leads the Karr Cougars on the NFHS network. The Neville Tigers and the Edna Karr Cougars locked up in a good one in the third quarter of the Class 4A state championship game. As you are watching the NFHS network, the state championship sponsored by or presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl and the LHSAA Prep Classic, presented by NOLA.com and the Times Picayune. 1st and 10 at the 33 as these Neville fans hoping that the Tigers can hold on here. Alden Clark has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Tyron Ralph in the backfield with Clark. Clark takes the snap, steps up, throws, dropped by Woolridge.
A little bit behind him that time, but I was watching him the whole way, and it was just a quick slant. It wasn't even a quick slant, just a post, basically. And watch it right here. He just throws it a little bit behind his receiver. That's something that Woolridge normally catches. But at least that time, number 2, Jake Kelly, was a little bit closer to him. Still should have stuck with him, but had he made the catch, I think he would have been able to make the tackle.
Ralph lined up on the slot on the near side on this 2nd down and 10. Clark will fling another one out there, and that was a nice defensive play. Outstanding job by the DB, Corey Straughter.
Straughter broke on the ball, timed it perfectly, separated the ball from the receiver, and that is something they had not been doing, at least on that last drive. They were giving way too much cushion. That time closed, connect, and Woolridge will remember that one for a while.
3rd and 10 now. Neville's defense looking to force a 3-and-out.
Throughout this drive, they've shown blitz and drop back into coverage.
Clark surveys the defense, calls for the snap. They rush 4, another one over the middle, and another grab. Woolridge makes the catch, a 1st down on 3rd and long for the Cougars.
Right on the money, and it was Alden Clark. He is so good throwing across the middle. That is a hard pass to make. The timing has to be just right, and you've got to know where your receiver is expected to be. And he was right there. Good catch by Woolridge after missing that one just a bit ago.
So 1st and 10 from the 44. Woolridge has had a good third quarter here.
Woolridge has had a good ball game.
Now a quick pass. That one a little high, though, for Woolridge. He's only 5'7", so
that sailed on him a bit.
Yeah, and Neville was really coming after Clark. May have forced him to throw that one sooner than he wanted to.
And that is what they did in the 2nd quarter of the ball game, as they got pressure on Alden Clark. They have not done so in this drive, or they have not done so in this quarter, actually. They have really not put a lot of pressure on it. Now they look like they're going to show something here.
Clark feeling some pressure, and another, just dropped though. Woolridge was open, but may have heard some footsteps.
I'll tell you, Woolridge is a good little receiver, but that time he just drops it. And it's unfortunate because it was right on the money once again. It was enough for a 1st down. And yeah, he thought about the fact that he was about to get shellacked by Cole Marsh.
So 3rd and 10 now. Woolridge will sit this play out after dropping that last pass. In motion is Simmons. Clark going towards Simmons. Simmons trying to make an acrobatic catch, and he can't make it. And Neville forces the punt.
Well, they took a chance on Simmons. Simmons not a very big receiver, but the pass a little bit thrown behind him. And again, hard for Cole Marsh to keep up with him. Had he thrown that ball just a little bit more to the inside, he would have hit him in stride and nobody would have caught him. Hard pass to make, hard catch to make.
On the punt is Anthony Spurlock. Has all day to boot it away, and a decent punt here. Bounces around at the 32. And the Neville Tigers will take over from there. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. 24-20 to score. Neville, who lost to Karr in the 2012 state championship game, but beat him in 2011. As you look at one of the assistant coaches there for Karr. 1st and 10 at the 31. This has been a great coaching staff. A lot of what's been key is having Karr players come back to be head coaches or members of the staff. Here's Donald Jenkins, a big run. And Jenkins out to the 46-yard line. He gains 15. Jenkins, a transfer from Cedar Creek. When he was a freshman, Jimmy, he rushed for over 2,000 yards for Cedar Creek.
Well, he is a very good running back. An amazing job that time off tackle. Does a good job of seeing the hole, cuts up field, and he's so fast to the hole. But he really does bring a different look to the running back position when you have with Diarse and then you have Jenkins in there, and it makes a difference.
1st and 10 at the 46. No, here's Diarse. Diarse for about 5 to the 49.
Good read that time by the quarterback, Cole. He saw the fact that the linebacker was going to bite in on him and then hand it off to Diarse. Watch how he hands it and stays with him. Now he lets it go. You saw number 92 bite in on that one. It wasn't the linebacker, but it was the defensive lineman, Devin Edenbaugh.
William Wooten doing a nice job blocking downfield for Neville. So we're coming up on the 4-minute mark in the third quarter. A 4-point lead for Neville. Wooten's in motion here. Diarse gets another carry, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. The ball came out, but they're going to say he is down. But knifing through there for Karr was Rashad Mosley.
Held on to it, and then boom, there's the hand that gets it.
Oh, boy.
That was out for sure. That was not caused by the ground. And it certainly looked like number 33, Buys, is the one that knocked it out.
So 3rd down and 5 now for Neville, just on the other side. The Karr fans are booing on the other side, watching the replay. Clark winds up, throws, and incomplete. Had Geis. Geis had a couple of steps on the defender. I believe Mickey McCarty will send a punt unit on, but so far, Clark or Jaden, now here they thought better of it.
Plenty of time to throw the football. The guard pulls, just winds up and just overthrows his receiver. Definitely had. He was thinking that he was held is the reason that you saw that look from Quentin Geis. He's like, what happened?
Andre Anthony also got his arm up there, may have forced Cole to throw that one a little bit higher. Better snap here, but not a great punt. And this one will bounce dead at the 32-yard line. Decent field position here for Karr as these two teams now start trading punts. It's been a good one, the Class 4A state championship game. Jeff Palermo, Jimmy Frederick, and Jessica Province down on the sidelines. One more game to come up on the NFHS network tonight. It's going to be a good one, the 5A championship game. Zachary making their first appearance in the state title game will be taking on the John Ehret Patriots. You'll have a matchup of one of the best defenses in the state against one of the best quarterbacks in the state.
Yeah, I would say Lindsey Scott is not too bad.
They wanted to set up the screen, and Clark goes down. Sacked on the play. Coming through there for Neville was Will Anders.
Watch it right here. Boom, Anders sheds a block, comes in right up the gut on the blitz.
Second sack of the game for Anders.
Yeah. In fact, he's one of the few guys that's gotten to him.
Big loss of 7.
Rashad Lawrence has been relatively quiet. He's made some plays, but he's tangled up a lot of guys, and that's what he is so good at doing. When you've got somebody that's that big, and there's a flag down.
Going to be against Karr, as we'll hear again from our referee, Tim Boston, from the Hammond area.
Dead ball. False start. Number 2 offense. Repeat, second down.
4 penalties for Karr, 12 for Neville. Check that, 13 for Neville. 10 of those, 11 of those in the first half.
Now second down and 22. Clark gets his team set. Let's see if Neville blitz.
Yes.
They bring 5. Pass out and dropped. Well, we're getting a case of the dropsies here from Karr. You see McMath drop that one. And it's now 3rd and the length of the Crescent City Bridge here for Karr.
Will Anders came again on the blitz, got to Alden Clark. Just a split second before he could throw, after he threw the football.
They need to get to the 42-yard line. They're at their own 20. Clark surveys the defense. 7 seconds on the play clock. 5 seconds on the play clock. 2 seconds.
He didn't get it off.
And there's the delay of game.
That is going to send Coach Brown through the roof.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Number 1 on the offense. Replay, third down.
Tough possession here for Karr. Just want to make sure you don't turn it over. Clark has thrown 2 interceptions in this game to go along with the 3 TD passes. They bring 5. Clark steps up, throws, caught. Did he hang on to it? I believe he did. Well shy of the first down for Woolridge. But they get out from inside their own 20, get it out to the 31. All about field position here when it was 3rd and 26.
The defense has made some adjustments, and Jake Kelly has done a much better job of guarding on that slant and on the square end, because he is stuck with Woolridge step for step, and he has been there every time, even though when he's made the catch.
Oh, they almost got to Spurlock that time. But a great punt here for Spurlock, and it's going to roll dead at the 26-yard line. Just over a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Neville gets the football back as this game has really settled into a battle of the punters. And some good defense, too. You know these 2 teams can play some good D. Even though Neville gave up 36 last week to Warren Easton, that's a really good Warren Easton team.
Yeah, but when you look at Neville's defense, they've got 5 shutouts on the year. They're only averaging 12 points a game. They've allowed 16 rushing yards a game. I still question that stat.
Jaden Cole with Jenkins to his right.
Oh my gosh.
Another penalty looks like here on Neville, as they've had all kinds of problems trying to get plays off today.
Dead ball. False start. 53 offense. Replay, first down.
Jared Hughes has been really a rock-solid player in right tackle for Neville, the guilty party that time.
All right, you can't blame it on the venue anymore. You can't blame it on the championship game. Somebody's got to get some heads in the game, or they've got to do something to get the play better into them.
Jenkins nowhere to run, and he's going to be thrown down.
Face mask.
Andre Anthony was there, also along with Rashad Mosley, but one of them grabbed the face mask of Jenkins.
This third quarter may never come to an end.
5-yard face mask, number 7 in the defense. Replay first down.
So it was Anthony that was guilty of the face mask penalty. Under a minute to go in the third quarter now.
There's only a 5-yard face mask there.
Nice run here by Diarce. He's like a little water bug out there up to the 33. Big run there for Diarce. 9-yard gain for the younger brother of John Diarce, who was an outstanding player for the Neville Tigers for 3 years here.
Look at him just scat right around, starts, stops, goes again, and he's able to switch directions, change directions, and it makes people miss. And that's such a great thing to have as a running back.
Good run there by Josh Diarce there, and he has the first down.
Just when you talk about him being a little scat back, he has a power move as well, and he just lowers his shoulder, pushes the pile with him, and he picks up the first down. That's huge.
So Neville recovers from the 5-yard penalty that dropped him back. Could be looking at our final play of the third quarter if they decide to run it. Play clock is yet to start. So they got some time here. Let's see.
They're not going to run it.
No need to run it. So our third quarter will come to an end inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. 24-20 is our score. It was a 7-point game at halftime. Karr has been able to cut the deficit down to 4. As Alden Clark has thrown 3 touchdown passes here. We'll be back after this on the NFHS Network. Fourth quarter from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. 24-20 is our score as the top-seeded Neville Tigers try to hold on against the 14th-seeded Karr Cougars. Neville has won 25 in a row, and they're 12 minutes away from another state championship, which would be their 12th and the third time that they've gone back-to-back in program history. Cole, deep, way past his receiver, though. And now the receiver, Quentin Geis, comes up lane. See that big brace on his right knee.
Yeah, I think it looked more like a hamstring or something that pulled up on him. Hopefully that's going to be okay. It looks like he's going back to the huddle. Yeah, just trying to get a home run early in this fourth quarter. He pulled up, and it does look like a hamstring.
This is the All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Jeff Palermo, Jimmy Frederick, and Jessica Province bringing you the Class 4A state championship game. Second down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Here's a pitch to Diarce. Boy, is he so quick. To the 8-yard line. They had Cavante Turpin last year, Jimmy, and he put on a show in the 4A state championship game. He was a fun player. He might be a little bit faster than Diarce, maybe, but Diarce is very effective running the football as well.
Well, I have to agree with you. And when you look at him at 5'6", 160 pounds, you know, how can he play with these big guys? But he goes in there fearless, number one, and two, he's just faster than everybody else.
Big third down coming up here for Neville, up by 4.
This could be the play of the game defensively right here at the moment.
Cole keeps it, finds some room to run, and he stays on his feet. Karr trying to strip that ball away from him, but he hangs on to it as he goes down at the 16-yard line. Huge run there of 41 yards.
No ill effect from that ankle, and at some point you just have to forget about the ankle. Look at the hole that the offensive line opened up, and then boom, you don't think he's got that speed, but that burst, and then he's got to just hang on for dear life, and he has to decide that no way in the world is some little safety stealing this ball from me.
Since they marked him at the 16, it's a 39-yard run as Neville is back inside the Coke Zero red zone.
Flag will fly. That's going to be illegal procedure.
Well, Neville's pretty much used to this. It's happened to him so much tonight.
That's another 5 yards. Big deal. 15 penalties, and it is that left guard position that is struggling so very much tonight. Armando Shea, who is a senior, has come into the game for Phillips.
Cole will give it to Josh Diarse, and Diarse, no one's going to touch him. Touchdown, touchdown, Tigers.
That was strictly Diarse. Diarse made the cut. Diarse made the decision. He saw the hole, and he was off. Wood blocking up front, but watch right here. Boom, he sees the hole, cuts off the backside of his pulling guard, and he is down and dirty in the end zone. Hands the official the ball. I've been here before, not that big a deal.
Extra point try coming up from Charlie Barefoot. Low snap. Good job by the holder, Haynes. And it's through the uprights. A big touchdown there for Neville. And what a day for Josh Diarse with the 21-yard touchdown run.
My goodness, look at this cut. Right off the back heels of his pulling guard. Nice seal blocking on the inside, and he has great vision to go with his great speed.
His older brother, John Diarse, was Mr. Football in the state of Louisiana a few years back. And here, Josh Diarse might be the most outstanding player of the game for Neville in the Class 4A state championship game. Let's send it down to the field to Jessica Providence.
Well, Jeff, each week Neville brings the wood literally. They are bringing these sledgehammers onto the field with them. You will see they are taped in black and gold, and you'll actually see the numbers of the offensive linemen and defensive linemen from last season. As you can clearly see on the field, they're bringing the wood on their offensive and defensive lines, but these are actually the numbers from last season, and they felt that those guys laid the foundations. There was no reason to change them. Bring in the wood. Pretty heavy, too, Jeff.
Jimmy can handle it if you need to bring it back to the Neville sideline.
Man, you need some help. I'll hook it up. Just saddle me up. I'm the old workhorse.
All right, here comes the eventful approach to the football for Kirby Harden. And another one that ends up into the end zone. So 1st and 10 for Karr. If it's for the Cougars, it's go time, Jimmy. You're down by 11 with over 10 minutes to go.
But I just don't want the Cougars to try to throw a fly route 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
I really believe that they have the quick strike ability to mix up the passes, especially across the middle and then in the out route.
Still plenty of time here. You score a touchdown here, get a defensive stop, and then you have the ball back with a chance to take the lead. So not an insurmountable lead. And again, Karr has been a team that has come back time and time again here in this postseason. Had a comeback from behind to beat Bastrop. Had to do it as well last week when they beat Franklinton. So this is a Karr team that's been well traveled in the playoffs. They had to go to Cecilia, had to go all the way up to Bastrop, then a short trip here to the Dome. Not much running room there at all for Clark, and he's sacked. They got to him. Several Neville defenders there. Antarius Gooden is there. Also there for Neville, that was Anthony Robinson.
Yeah.
And Rashard Lawrence looked like he got a piece of him as well.
Pick a black jersey. That was the kind of push that they were talking about against the offensive line that they have been working up to all game long. But they've done it with 4 and 3 rushers, not a bunch of blitzing.
Now that defensive line could really pin its ears back. Here they come again. Pass over the middle, knocked around and almost intercepted. All of a sudden it's 3rd and 15, and a crucial drive for Karr is one play away from ending.
You didn't see it, but Rashard Lawrence did a spin move. The 6'3", 300-pounder spun away from his blocker. Absolutely amazing athletic play. Didn't get to the quarterback, but let me tell you something. he is going to be a special player for whoever wins the lottery and gets him.
LSU, Alabama, Ohio State looking at him. 3rd down and 15. That pass is dropped, and that ends the drive, and Clark was really drilled on the play, too. So a 3-and-out at the most inopportune time here for Karr.
What they were doing early in the game is getting the ball out of Clark's hand much more quickly. He's trying to take his time a little bit more and pressing a little bit, and that's why he's throwing the ball a little bit low, at least it did on that pass. So he's got to get the ball out on those quick passes much, much quicker, and that's why the defensive line is having such an effect of getting to the quarterback at the moment.
Anthony Spurlock with his feet on the goal line will punt it. No pressure, but he got off a low punt. Kind of a worm burner here. And it rolls dead at the 47. Neville has an opportunity here to put this one away. Up 11. The fans from Monroe, they are feeling it now as they can realize that just one more touchdown here probably does it.
Yeah, I would think that's true. And they're going to be happy to run as much clock as they possibly can on this drive. Be happy to get 3 yards in a cloud of dust here on each play. Jenkins back into the ball game for the Neville Tigers, giving DRs a little rest.
Bunch formation here. Oh, do we got Cole kept it for 2 yards. And that's really all Neville would love to do here is just 3-4 yards.
We've only seen Cole run a couple of times, but he's been effective. I say a couple of times in the second half after he came out with the ankle injury. He looks like it's really not affecting him much, and I would have a feeling that, one, it's taped very well, and number two, the adrenaline of playing as a quarterback in the state championship game with 8 minutes to go or so would give you a little help through the pain management there.
Got to give a lot of credit to the Neville training staff to get Cole back out on the field for him. Jenkins gets another carry through the middle up to the 40. He'll be 3 yards shy of the first down. First man to make contact with him for the Karr Cougars was Darnell Bridges.
As quick as Diarce is as patient as Jenkins is. He allows the blockers to move the play down the field, follows his blocker, picks his path very cautiously, and makes positive yards. He doesn't have to bowl people over, but he can.
Under 8 minutes to go, 10 seconds here on the play clock as Neville trying to eat up as much time as possible. Cole keeps it again, and that time, what a play by Andre Anthony. Then he also had a Neville player who lost his helmet, and then you have a Neville player who's also down on the ground. So a lot happened there, but in the end, Karr came up with a big play to force 4th down.
You were right about Andre Anthony. My goodness, grabbed him with one hand and slung Cole to the ground like he was a rag doll.
It's amazing. Every year, Karr just seems to produce these great defensive linemen. Gerald Wallace they had a couple of years ago who went on to Florida. And this is not a good sign for this Neville player. That looks to be Cole McCarty, who is putting no pressure at all on his right leg. So 4th down, Neville will punt it. John Mitchell McDuffie. Now they've had trouble on a couple of these snaps, so you got to watch out for that.
They're going to come. They're bringing it.
Oh, it's a fake punt, and it's not going to work, and then there's a fumble, and Karr has it. Well, that just never really looked good at all. They tried a direct snap to Antarius Gooden. He fumbled it. I think Neville's lucky that that ball just didn't pop up to a Karr player, and then he would take it to the house.
Yeah, no harm, you know. Punt probably would have been the way to go. They missed it by a couple of yards, but the fumble didn't really hurt him if they had, as long as it didn't, like you said, pop up into somebody's hand and boom, touchdown.
So new life here for Karr, down by 11 with 7:18 left to go.
I have a feeling this is going to be a long pass down the field.
A lot of movement here for the Cougars as Ralph gets back into the backfield. Woolridge lined up on the slot onto the near side. Clark looks to his left and dropped. Boy, we've seen enough drop passes here for Karr in the second half. Kenneth Simmons couldn't hang on to it. You know, these Neville defensive backs, they've been coming up and providing some big hits, and it maybe is worked into the psyche of some of these Neville receivers, or excuse me, Karr receivers.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And again, I think it's just trying to make more out of the play than you're giving yourself the ability to do. And in other words, you've got to watch the ball. You've got to catch it first and then turn and run. No matter what, you can't do anything without the football.
Clark to his left again. They set up the screen. Nicely done here to Ralph. Ralph will also get out of bounds as he picks up a first down. Got about 10.5 yards as the ball moves into Neville territory with just under 7 minutes to go. They move the chains on the far side. Nice game here for Tyron Ralph. As he had an 18-yard touchdown run earlier in the game. Clark has thrown for a couple of touchdown passes. He's also been intercepted twice. And incomplete behind the receiver that time, Dewan Dixon.
He's changed his motion a little bit. He is definitely pressing harder than he was in the first half. He's not just throwing it. He's pressing it, and that was an errant throw. That was a bad toss for the quarterback.
He's been on the money on a lot of these slant patterns. That might have been the worst one he's thrown all game.
By far.
LSU, Tulane, and Mississippi State are interested in this young man. Mentioned earlier, has the offer from Memphis. And he'll throw over the head of Ralph.
And it's going to be a late hit on the quarterback, and that's going to be a big penalty. Watch it after the play. They're going to throw downfield. He misses the pass, but he is going to get laid out after he releases the football. And it's going to be a big 15-yarder.
First down.
Wow.
Well over 100 yards in penalties for the Neville Tigers.
They'll move the ball up to the 34-yard line.
Personal foul obligation against Neville. 15-yard penalty by personal
Simmons and Ralph shift. Clark to the air once again. And almost a great pass. It was deflected there by, I think Jacorian Andrews got his hand on there. I thought that ball was going to get to Dewan Dixon, but Andrews looks like he got a hand on it in the last second.
I mean, just barely. It did look like it. It was going to be thrown in stride. Watch right here. Closing on it, the cornerback
just got a piece of it.
Barely got a piece of it. And if he didn't get a piece of it, it was enough of a block for the receiver that he couldn't quite bring it in with his eyes. Just disrupted his thinking on it.
2nd and 10. Clark back to the air and off the hands again of another receiver. Dixon could not hang on to it, and luckily for Karr, that ball was not intercepted.
Dewan Dixon missing the second one in a row.
Boy, how many drop passes have we seen here for Karr?
At least 12, and that's not an exaggeration.
Many of them in this second half. Four down territory for Karr, down by 11. 3rd and 10. Clark feeling a little heat. Dumps it off. Nicely done to Ralph. Ralph's got to make some things happen. Somehow able to carry. He lost the ball. Neville believes they have it, and it sure looks like they do. Tigers football.
Big play there defensively. Strips the ball.
Jake Kelly with the recovery.
Watch it here. Nice pass, a little dump pass, and then there's 4 black jerseys around him. Swarms him. How he's not down right there, I'm not sure, but he continues to fight. And then Jake Kelly strips the ball out of his hands and falls on it. So the caused fumble and the recovered fumble, all by Jake Kelly, the free safety.
Now Neville will really look to run some clock with Jaden Cole and the company as they take over from the 24. Here's Diar's. Diar's got hit hard.
Boy, he got nailed by... You go for it.
Casey Nagoto made the tackle, pickup of only a couple yards, but he was able to hang on to the football. That's the important part here for Neville.
Is that the 4th turnover for Karr? 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions, and they fumbled it twice.
Makes 4.
Neville's had the problem with the penalties. Karr has had trouble holding on to the football. 5 seconds on the play clock here. They got to get set really quick. And now I think they got to burn a timeout. 5:45 left to go in the game. And Neville has an 11-point lead. (31-20).
We have got an exciting football game coming up after this, and we've already crowned 3 champions so far.
This weekend.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. After an exciting week last week in the select and the non-select, earlier today, Lutcher defeated St. James, their parish rival. Last night, we saw Kinder win for the 2nd time in 3 years. And it all started this weekend with Kentwood beating Haynesville. So we take you inside the 2 huddles. What a great job Mickey McCarty has done. One of the most successful coaches in the state of Louisiana. We got JT Curtis, obviously, right up there. Louis Cook won a state championship last week. He's right up there. But Mickey McCarty, you know, there's if you had to do it with active coaches, you had to put, you know, 4 or 5 guys up there, like a Mount Rushmore of coaches right now. Big play development here for Diar's. I don't think anybody's going to catch him.
It's going to be close. Look at this from
To the 5, touchdown!
He gets in.
Neville Tigers. Josh Diar's puts the exclamation point on this one.
But the speed of tracking him down from across the field is pretty phenomenal.
It's hard to imagine, Jimmy, he had just 214 yards rushing coming into this game. He's rushed for well over 150 in this contest.
There's no chance that anybody catches him. There's no white jersey in the field. And then, boom, all of a sudden, he just gets across the pylon. Jalen Bell has got to be the fastest guy on this field. I mean, he came from across the field to track him down.
Charlie barefoot, the extra point. And the Neville Tigers are well in position to win their 12th state championship thanks to Josh Diar's. He saw his brother win a couple of state titles and said, you know what? I want to be a big part of a state champion as well.
Well, it says a lot about when somebody's going to step up and who's going to step up. You know, like you said, just over 200 yards rushing for the season. And here in the state championship game, he is the guy that they've focused on because he has found some rhythm, and he's just done an exceptional job. So you just never know who's going to be the hero depending on the day, the time, and the plays.
So the Neville Tigers, looks like they're going to exact a little revenge for losing in the 2012 state title game to Karr, 29-22. And now they lead the overall series between these two teams when they've met in the state championship game. It was 1-1, and for the 2nd year in a row, it is Neville. Unless there's a miraculous comeback here from Karr, it'll be the 2nd year in a row Neville has bested Karr in the playoffs.
It would have to be one heck of a miraculous comeback. But stranger things have happened, I suppose.
Curfew Harden, hop, skip, and a jump. This one's not going to make it to the end zone, though.
Getting tired.
Return from the 5-yard line, and a great tackle in the open field. That was nicely done by Neville's Hawkins Boyer. Let's take a look at our Baden play of the game. Our player of the game is probably Josh Diarson. Diarson's responsible for the Baden play of the game on this long touchdown run.
Look at the blocking on the outside. He takes it the distance, and my goodness, he is so fast and he has run so many yards. He still has a little bit left in the tank to get it across the pylon and the touchdown. Still pretty impressive, Bell.
Karr will set up shop from their own 26. Caught by Colby Jefferson, and Jefferson out to the 41. Gain of 15 to start this drive.
Defense making sure nobody gets behind them, giving them a lot of space. They're not too worried about them getting yards here. They just don't want to make sure that they get way back behind them. Keep them in front and make the play.
Quick pass again to Jefferson. Jefferson should have stepped out of bounds. He didn't. And he didn't get the first down, so the clock will keep running. Still go back to the play that changed this game. Remember back in the second quarter, Karr up 14-7 with the football in Neville territory. They just had forced a turnover, and then the interception by the Neville defensive back, Kendrick Marbles. And then a couple plays later, after a long run by Diarce, Jenkins got into the end zone. And since then, Neville has really been in control of this game. Pass behind the receiver there. Now bring up 3rd and 1.
And they have been able to get Alden Clark out of his rhythm. He has definitely not been the same quarterback that he was in the first quarter. He is pressed, he has been rattled, he has been hit, and he is just not finding his mark. And he's also hit some really open receivers, and they've just simply dropped the football.
Karr has been a little out of sync, no doubt about it. But they're going up against a really good defense.
I would say.
Jefferson got hammered. They pick up the first down, but he got lit. Jacorian Andrews delivering a blow there. Boy, he stuck the helmet right between the number 1 and number 8 on his jersey.
Watch this. This is textbook. Pow! Laid him out.
Great job by Jefferson to hang on to that one.
Only because I think it was pinned between him and the shoulder pad of the defender.
Under 4 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. High snap. And Cole's got a run. Goes down deep. Did he get a foot in bounds? And he did. Nice grab by DeMonte Woolridge, who's made several athletic catches. Nice pickup there of 29 yards.
I mean, Woolridge is only 5'7". And look at this. The pocket collapses. He's getting some big-time pressure. Still manages to keep his eyes downfield. Throws it, and he does get 1 foot in. Good call by the official and a great catch by Woolridge. I'm impressed by this young man. Woolridge, a senior.
Karr inside the Coke Zero red zone. That pass will one-hop the receiver. Rasheed McMath.
Time to throw, steps up, and just pushes it. Just simply.
Saw that defensive back, I'm sure. Corey Strada was right behind him.
Yeah, he was going to lay out the receiver. There's no doubt about that. He might have saved his receiver from whiplash.
Clark on 2nd down. Nice catch over the middle by Simmons. Gain of about 7 to the 8.
Quick pass, Simmons, look at him, just snag it out of the air, gets it and wraps it around to his body, which is important. He knows he's going to get hit by Cole Marsh. Protects the football, and they're close.
3rd and 3. Cole gets rid of it quickly, almost intercepted. Hit Jake Kelly right in the helmet.
He didn't realize that there was any way that that ball was going to get to him as fast as it did.
How about the pressure coming in on Clark, too? Had to get rid of it in a hurry.
Boom, he gets hit as he throws, and caught
man.
him in the face mask. Where'd he go, man? Where'd he go?
4th down. Clark has to get rid of it again. Touchdown. DeMonte Woolridge.
Good play, good score, but
still a faint heartbeat here for the Cougars. They'll need to execute the onside kick.
it's not over till it's over, boys and girls.
Alden Clark's 3rd touchdown pass. He's thrown it to 3 different receivers, Woolridge, Ralph, and Jefferson. 2-point try to make it a 10-point game.
Fade to the corner.
Clark under pressure. May just have to run it. Can he get in? Stretches. No.
Loses the football.
So an onside kick coming up now.
Alden Clark has tried to do it all today. He has thrown the ball fairly effectively. He has run the ball when needed. You can't just throw it into the end zone. It doesn't count, no matter what.
Nice try.
It was, the effort was there.
A for effort.
The execution lacked. Who do you give your outstanding player to for Carr?
For Carr?
Yeah.
Still give it to Alden Clark. I think he's made some good throws. He's faced a little pressure here, but he's played well. And, you know, the one interception was tough, but you got to give credit to Kendrick Marbles. He made a great play on it. So I'd give it to him. And my guy for Neville has got to be Josh Diarse.
Yeah.
The 2 touchdown runs, especially here in the second half, to put this game out of reach.
Agreed.
Well, let's see what kind of squib kick Chili Durantale can muster here.
There you see Coach Mickey McCarty looking for back-to-back state championships. They will be dancing in the streets in North Louisiana.
Finally, for North Louisiana, finally a state championship over this prep class.
It's interesting.
It's been dominated by South Louisiana schools.
Oh, nice catch. Nice catch. Number 24 snags it out of the air.
Milan Markle. Excuse me, number 24. Yeah, that was Robert Williams, who had a touchdown catch earlier in the game.
That would be the all-hands team right there.
So, another kind of an interesting geographical statistic here, Jim.
You know I love those.
Since Edna Karr is not going to pull it off here, so it's going to be up to John Arrett to win a state championship from a school located in the greater New Orleans area. It's been since 2011, the last time that we did not have a state champion from the greater New Orleans area. Usually Curtis handles that.
Well,
they
Curtis,
win.
right.
But Curtis not even here for the Prep Classic, which is
First time in, what, 21 years?
A long time. Neville's got to burn a timeout here. They just...
They just need to get out of this
McCarty,
one.
I tell you what, if they had another game next week, the kids would get off the bus and they'd be back out on practice.
Right.
As much trouble as they've had trying to get a snap off, and Coach McCarty's telling them here, still over 3 minutes left. You got to play till the final buzzer goes off.
Yeah, there's no...
To steal a basketball term.
You're forgiven for that mixed sports metaphor.
Till 0-0 is on the clock.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Till the gun goes off.
Yeah,
there's no gun anymore. I'm with you. But, and it's so, McCarty's just like, what this is not what we do.
Yeah,
We've never
right.
had this problem before. What's our situation here? It's not like it's too loud. I mean, it's loud. It's nice. It's well attended, but it's not like a Saints game. Maybe it's the band.
Gotta love the Karr band, and you gotta love the running that we have seen this afternoon.
And you gotta love the fact that young man, Cole, Jaden Cole, who hurt his ankle last week, hurt his ankle in the first half of this game, iced it down, taped it back up, and he has been back out here running his offense nearly to perfection.
And I can let a lot of clock run here. Still 16 seconds on the play clock.
You also have to give it to Christopher Haynes. He comes in for 5 or 6 minutes in the
stabilizes things.
Right, in the second quarter, gets a touchdown.
Cole will run again, has a first down and more. Tripped up at the 31-yard line, grabbing an ankle and making sure he didn't get into the end zone was Sam Messino.
Follows his blockers, runs high. He's got a high center of gravity. And
he'll be back next season as Neville will once again be favorites. Still don't know exactly what the makeup of the postseason will look next year in high school football here in Louisiana, but Neville will definitely be a favorite with him and Josh Diarspak. A couple of these offensive linemen are going to be back as well. So we're under 2 minutes to go. 12 state championships for Neville. Number 1 is Curtis. They got like 26, I want to say. Haynesville's at 17. So Neville is climbing up on the charts.
I can tell you where Catholic High is.
Number 1
on the chart. They finally made it on the chart after 121 years.
And the Zachary Broncos, they can get their name in the scorebook too if they're able to pull off the state championship in 5A, our next game.
That's right.
As they take on John Aaron.
We had some classics last week with Parkview Baptist winning in a close.
Oh, look at this. This is Cole again.
Forget it.
Gets into the end zone.
Forget it. That's an exclamation point that Karr was hoping to avoid.
Great game from the junior, Jaden Cole. Great job by the offensive line. Good block by Blaze Van Buren.
He's been all over the place. Blaze Van Buren has. He's done a great job. And he's the one that's telling the center what the snap count is every play. Maybe the center's not telling the guy to the left of him. But Van Buren has been absolutely spectacular as an offensive lineman throughout the afternoon and evening.
Charlie barefoot on the extra point try. Wasn't the prettiest, but it was effective.
Gotta tell you, the holder, is it Haynes who's holding?
Yeah, it's Haynes, yeah.
He has had to really handle some errant snaps, get him down, and let Barefoot do the job. He should be kicking barefoot. It just bothers me that he's got a shoe on.
Well, a lot of hugs going around now on that Neville sideline as the 4A title game coming to a conclusion. The All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. What a way for these seniors to go out for Neville to win back-to-back state championships. Pretty good run here. 2013, they lost in the semifinals. Well, if you're a freshman for Neville, in 2012, you lost to Karr in the state title game. In 2013, you lost to East Jefferson in the semifinals, but the last 2 years, you won a thriller over Warren Easton last year by 1 point, and here, you have shown that you are certainly the class of 4A. But what a run by the Karr Cougars, too, as the 14 seed to get all the way to the state championship game. Really had some adversity at the beginning of the season when they lost 3 games. Had a tough loss, too, towards the end of the year. As Karr, this is the first season they had not won a district title in 9 years. They were 5-1 in District 9 4A. Started off 0-3. first time ever they had started a season 0-3. They lost 2 of their games by 3 points. Landry Walker on September 11th lost to Brother Martin by 3 points. Also had a loss to Warren Easton towards the end of the season on October 30th. But rallied the troops, stayed with it, got Andre Anthony back after he was ruled ineligible. Alden Clark fought through an ankle injury. Big tackle coming up here by Anthony Freeman, a sophomore, another young defensive lineman for Neville. And Karr got back to the state championship game. A lot of kudos to them. Only a couple more plays left in this 4A championship game, and the celebration can certainly begin. Walking around the French Quarter. Earlier today, man, a lot of black and gold out there. The Neville fans always travel so well to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Timeout. You went pregame to the quarter?
Well, I was just walking around, getting some lunch and so forth. Saw him around last night as I was walking back. Mickey McCarty does it again. That's number 12 for the Neville Tigers. As the Neville Tigers defeat the Edna Karr Cougars 45-26 for the 3rd time in school history. Back-to-back state championships.
Congratulations to the Tigers, and great effort by the Edna Karr Cougars. Congratulations to them for being the runner-ups. But man, there's the 2 coaches meeting at the middle of the field, and we will be having Jessica's interview with Mickey McCarty in just a minute. But the fans are the big key. They were the 12th man out here, and the team knows it, and they're high-fiving the fans, high-fiving the student section. Forgot about the trophy presentation and the handshaking of the other team.
Bryce Brown, in his first season as the head coach of the Karr Cougars, leads Karr to the state championship game. You know, there's going to be some good things for Karr down the future. Wouldn't be surprised if these 2 teams meet again in the postseason. It always seems they do next season, or possibly might be right back here second weekend of December.
Well, it was an exceptional football game from start to finish, and it really was back and forth in that first half, and especially in the first quarter when Karr just came out and just full throttled it, put it in the end zone to start things off. And
Neville made some great adjustments.
They
talked
did.
about it. Defensive coordinator Benji Lewis, he certainly deserves a lot of.
Early on, they were giving a lot of cushion to the receivers, and then they tightened up in the second half, and it made a big difference because they were allowing the receivers to catch the football and then have room to run after the catch. That stopped in the second half. And they got pressure on Alden Clark.
Hey,
Jessica trying to find Mickey McCarty.
we're here.
And let's go ahead and send it down to Jessica. I believe she does have Mickey McCarty. Go ahead, Jessica.
Thanks, Chef. Yes, I do. Coach, 24-20 at half. How were you able to come out and put them away when it mattered most?
Defense stepped up for us. Played really great in the second half. Came up with some stops. Offense kept fighting. We finally came up with big plays, hitting them with the run game. A lot of credit to our offensive line. We shot ourselves in the foot a lot tonight. A lot of penalties. Credit Karr, great fight by their team, great championship effort by both teams. I'm really proud of the players, fighting hard through a really tough opponent here. Taking the 1 lead through the brackets, and of our team.
12th state title, defending 4A state champions. How good does it feel?
It's amazing. I'm really proud of this team. Worked hard all year long. Amazing.
I'm sorry, Coach. Congratulations. Enjoyed this moment.
Thank you.
Jeff.
A great moment for the Neville Tigers. We'll have the trophy presentation when we come back. The Neville Tigers are the Class 4A state champions again. We'll be back after this on the NFHS Network. Mickey McCarty all smiles as the Neville Tigers defeat the Edna Karr Cougars 45-26 to win the Class 4A state championship. Right now, Edna Karr being presented with the state runner-up trophy. It's been a great run here for the Karr Cougars as they have been in this dome playing in the state championship game several times here over the last handful of years. Let's send it down to the marketing director for the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, Mitch Small, who is our master of ceremonies during the post-game trophy presentation.
How about one more time for the Edna Karr Cougars, your 2014-15 state runner-ups. The next award is the All-State Sugar Bowl Outstanding Player for Edna Karr High School, as selected by the working media of the Prep Classic. Outstanding Player for Edna Karr, number 1, Alden Clark. Presenting the awards, Mr. Dennis Couvion and Mr. Eddie Bonine. To number 1 for the Cougars, Alden Clark. Next, the All-State Sugar Bowl Outstanding Player for Neville High School, as selected by the working media of the Prep Classic. Presenting the awards, Mr. Eddie Bonine and Mr. Greg Wilson. Outstanding Player for the Tigers, number 3, Josh Diarce. And the final award is the 2015 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Class 4A State Football Championship Trophy, Neville High School. Head coach Mickey McCarty, principal Miss Whitney Martin. Attention all media.
And there it is for the 12th time. The Neville Tigers are state champions in the state of Louisiana. Again, congratulations to Coach Mickey McCarty and the Neville Tigers. Final thoughts on this one, Jimmy?
Well, just an exceptional football game. Neville Tigers overcame well over 100 yards in penalties, and they just did an exceptional job, and I was glad to see that Jaden Cole was able to come back and really make a difference.
So that will do it for our broadcast of the Class 4A State Championship game. Want to thank our executive producer, Mark King, with the NFHS Network. For Jessica Province down on the sidelines, Jimmy Frederick in the booth with myself, Jeff Palermo. Thanks for watching and thanks for your support of high school sports. The Neville Tigers, the Class 4A State Champions.